What's going on, everybody? Welcome, people. Welcome, lovely folks of the internets, and welcome to a stream on the road, so to speak. I am not streaming from my house because we still do not have power, as I've been talking about with all of you in chat. Power was supposed to be restored by tonight at 11 p.m., and then I got a text from the amazing people at Con Edison telling me that power would now be restored tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern. And God knows if that's going to stay in place the same way. This has been bad. I mean, for a tropical storm, now admittedly, it's a tropical storm. I'm not saying it's nothing. But for a storm that was in here for all of about 10 minutes, I'm joking, but it was about 3 hours that it was in the area and then it was gone. Boy, did it, rain devastation on Con Edison's ability to keep up power. There are still tens of thousands of people who are without power, which is pretty wild considering that this is a company which makes over $1 billion of profit per year. So it will be really awesome if Con Edison could, in their infinite wisdom, figure out a way to use a little bit of that extra profit, just a bit of the $1 billion, to bury the freaking power lines, just like Manhattan, which is why Manhattan doesn't have any outages and hasn't from the beginning, and meanwhile the Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens continue to suffer. Not to mention Westchester County and places even outside of this. So tens of thousands of people still out of power, lots of people really angry and upset, a bunch of ruined food and all that. But I mean, we're all healthy and alive-ish, so I guess there's that. But really, 2020, man. 2020. Can you just please, God, 2020. Like this. Anyway, before we get into all that, and before we get into our game today, let me thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being patient during a bunch of missed streams and things like that. Obviously, I couldn't do my GOG stream on Tuesday afternoon. I obviously couldn't do on Friday. I couldn't do my stream yesterday. I finally managed to get stuff over here and kind of rigged up and set up so that I can, I think, stream a little bit tonight. But I'll talk more about that in just a bit. Yeah, exactly. Don't wish on the monkey paw. I know it. It's true. But before I get there, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the channel here on arvineleron.com, on twitch.tv/arvineleron. Please follow us here. Please check out the YouTube with !arvtube, Twitter with !arvtweets, Discord is !arvcord, and you can find the website for all of this at arvineleron.com. On the financial side of things, of course, we have the shop, !arvshop, which with merchandise from, naturally, the Adventures of Middle-earth crew, which is now going to have to change a little bit, obviously, because of the new player, which was introduced on Tuesday before my power went out. And then also, of course, the Infinity and Beyond crew, which continues to be the same group, currently playing Curse of Strahd, and we hope to get some Esper Genesis stuff up there as well on Arv Shop. Arv Treon is holding steady at about $2.23 per month. Again, that is really the financial backbone of the channel and makes it possible for me to do lots of stuff, including videos and overlays and all that kind of good stuff. So please consider jumping on board for that if you can. I would really appreciate it, and it definitely does make a difference if you're able to support us there. Cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel. Same thing with the sub button. We had a nice sub gift of 5 subs from Jedi Burner the other day, and so we are currently sitting at 69 subs, and although I certainly appreciate a good meme as much as the next person, it would be great if we could actually get to 70 and beyond on those subs, because again, it does really make a difference in terms of, there we go. See, I knew Geester would, you got it covered. But anyway, all of that would definitely be helpful as we continue to move forward, and I can do things like introduce stuff that I'm going to be introducing in just a minute. And also, of course, the publishing stuff I want to talk about before I make a couple of announcements about things coming up. So just a couple of publishing comments. Icarus for my Icarus and Jelinek graphic novels. I put up a new pinned tweet today. Icarus is coming. It's coming soon. In retail. It's going to be out in early November in retail, but we do have a limited number of pre-release Icarus and Jelinek graphic novels which are left. You can get them right now for $36, which is $18 per, in both print and PDF. So if you get the $18, you will get the PDF, which you can download immediately, and then the print will be shipped to you, so you'll receive that sometime later. That's going to be, again, and the print is already out. It's just a matter of actually getting it to you. So if you go to that link, that will bring you right to Athos Art's direct page, stage. We have about 20, I think just about 20, a little more than that maybe, copies left. So those are going quickly, and that'll be the last we have of those pre-release ones. Then it's just going to be the post-release ones that we will have with hopefully blurbs and reviews and all that kind of good stuff. Exclamation Point library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, still doing very well in PDF form on DriveThruRPG. Print editions of those are coming soon. Everything has been screwed up, of course, because of coronavirus, so that's why the print hasn't been out even earlier. But now we're getting to the point where it's just about ready to go, and I'm very excited about that, so please consider jumping on board with that. And then Exclamation Point Gray Shade KS, I will have I'll have details of that in the next few days about whether that is going to be pushed to February or whether it's going to stay in October. Again, that Kickstarter is going to encompass a board game, an RPG, a set of novels, an audiobook from Trendane, and maybe a couple of other surprises. So all very exciting. I really want to get it moving and, moving and grooving, but obviously that is obviously dependent partially on factory capacity and stuff like that involving, for example, the coronavirus, which is again out of my control. So I will let you folks know as soon as I know about that, which should be, as I say, in the next few days. That's Exclamation Point Gray Shade KS and Exclamation Point BLM Black Lives Matter. Very important and something we've been focusing a lot on here and will continue to focus on because that's not going away. It is going to continue to be something that we're focused on and paying attention to as we move forward. So please consider jumping on board by clicking on that link. That will give you a set of resources for both education of yourself and others, but also for places where you can donate to support the cause. And I'm very happy that we've had a chance to do stuff that is in that same ballpark with JulyCon, the support of the Carl Brennan Society and the Octavia Butler Memorial Scholarship specifically. And we have other things that are going to be coming along those lines as well. And one such thing is going to be this thing that I want to announce about the schedule, which I've already talked about, but just to remind you all. So let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of this, and let me turn on, where is it? This, there we go. There we go. Hi everyone, good to see you all. Welcome. As you can see, I am right here. Actually, I'll move this over here so I don't have to, yeah, much better. I am right here. You can see that this is I've been without power for a number of days, so right now I look like, I've just been running around trying to save, my house. It hasn't quite been that bad. And I know I did get a chance to do some of those mobile streams at Little Arv. Again, I haven't uploaded anything to YouTube because, again, no power. So within the next couple of days, I got a bunch of work to catch up on. I've got a bunch of stuff I have to do with video uploads and all that kind of stuff. I will do the best I can, but I mean, perfectly honestly, yeah, exactly, pretty much. It's not all that hot. It could have been a lot worse. I feel like my hair, which hasn't been cut in a while, is like, woo! But it has not actually been all that hot, Coven, I have to say. It could have been a lot worse. It was maybe 70 degrees, I want to say, earlier this morning, and then it got up to about 78, 79 degrees, something like that. Not too bad, considering what it could have been. It is supposed to be getting, over the weekend, early next week, into the 90s again, so they better get the goddamn power back on. I mean, Condescending has screwed this up to a fairly well, and they will be getting claims from a lot of people. I imagine there will be lawsuits. They will definitely get claims from people for spoiled food, and I'm going to be submitting one because we probably will end up having lost a couple $100 of food. We tried to cook a bunch of food. We had neighbors, not near us, but like a couple of blocks away, that we have a freezer that we were able to bring stuff to, but oh god, it's ugh. Anyway, so because of all that, the videos are a little bit of a mess, and so I will do what I can as soon as I can to get that fixed. I also have to do some prep for classes in terms of books that I'm going to be teaching. I am very excited to say that I am adding 2 science fiction books to my science fiction introduction course in the fall. I'm going to be taking 2 books out, and I'm going to be substituting them with This Is How You Lose the Time War, because I might be able to get one or both of those people. I know I can at least get one of them to talk to my class, and I love that book, and I think it's a perfect thing for right now, so I'm going to be adding that to the mix. And I'm also going to be adding Martha Wells' All Systems Red, which I love, and I think the students are going to love as well. So I'm going to be adding that in to the mix as the syllabus changes up a little bit. So I'm super excited about that as well. Yeah, no, totally, Coven. I'm absolutely going to be doing that as well. Okay, yeah, I hear you, Echo, and also yeah. So anyway, so that's what's going on. That so I'm super excited about that, but I have a lot of work I have to catch up on, whatever. So, in terms of what we've got on tap here, so tonight we're doing Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and I'll talk more about why that and not D&D with viewers in just a minute. Monday we have, of course, Emberwind, and then Tuesday we're going to be doing Adventures in Middle Earth again. Now we had two sessions that were originally planned this Tuesday that just passed, and then next week, and then we were going to be doing the game book illustration stream with Terry Tunes this coming Tuesday. But I've decided, after consulting with the players, that we're going to do another Adventures of Middle Earth session on Tuesday. Again, this is assuming my power is back by Tuesday. I really hope it's back less than a week after it went out. But the reason we decided to do that is we all felt it just kind of sucked the way it ended. I mean, we were getting into it, and we introduced our newest player, who, for those of you who missed it, that is Bradley Bollier. Brad Bollier is an author of speculative fiction. He wrote the 12 Winds of Sharakai for Nightshade Books. He now has a series with Daw, the Shattered Sands series, which is great. Can confirm, have read several of the books within that series, and it's excellent, so you definitely should be reading that. Brad is a Tolkien nut. He is my former co-host on Speculate as well. He's a friend, and I was excited to be able to get him in, and so he is our newest player, and is going to be joining us, taking over the spot previously held by Will Jones. And he has a hobbit treasure hunter whose name is Bolibras Took, who has joined the party. So we're very excited to have him, but we just the session barely got underway, and then all hell broke loose, by which I mean a tropical storm, and that was the end of that, and I haven't had power since. So we decided that we're going to reset, and basically redo that again. So we're going to try to have an episode on Tuesday and then one the following Tuesday. The Gamebook illustration stream will be rescheduled to a time that I can fit it. It might be a Sunday. I don't know. I have to think about when we're going to do it, because I've only got a couple of weeks left, about 2.5 weeks before I have to get started. I'm actually starting school early this year because they want people to be started and then finished earlier than normal. Normally I would not be starting until after Labor Day, which is when you should normally start a school year, in my opinion. But in this particular case, they're starting us early because they want all classes to be finished by the week of Thanksgiving, and then have exams the week after Thanksgiving, and then that's it, because they don't want people coming back from families and spreading coronavirus. My guess is that we're not even going to be there by Thanksgiving. My guess is that they're going to have had everyone online anyway by the middle of October, because schools should not be open. I understand why they're being forced to do it, but the reality is the virus is not safe. Certainly it's not under control in the United States, and until it is, even though New York State, where I live, and New York City is pretty much under control at the moment, colleges are international, universities are international, and they're going to be bringing in students from everywhere, and so it's it's just not safe. So even with all of the safety precautions, people are going to get sick, and they're going to send people home again. So I am going to be online this semester exclusively. Not the way I like to teach, not what I signed up for. I spend enough time in front of video screens as it is, but it is better than the alternative of instant death. And I don't want to hurt either myself or my students or my family. I don't want to bring home anything to my mother-in-law is older. She lives with us, obviously, my wife and kids. I don't feel like sort of kicking off just yet, if that's all the same to the world and the universe and God and you. So as a consequence, I'm going to be teaching online. So that means I have to get started on the 24th, and I have work that I have to do up until then. I've got to take a couple of these extra classes on learning management system stuff. I've done a little bit of that. I have to do more of that. My class is going to be largely synchronous anyway, but it's going to be extra work, and I was planning to do some of that over the last few days, which I haven't been able to do any because the power's out. Thank you, Con Ed. So anyway, all of that means that I am going to do the best I can to reschedule the Gamebook illustration stream, but no promises, because all of this just kind of threw things up, and I screwed things up, and it's bad. It's been difficult. So yeah. So anyway, schedule-wise, we are going to do the best we can with that. Then I am supposed to have, this is partially dependent, actually not on me, but on whether Mike Smith is moved into his new place. I'm supposed to have some D&D with GOG going on Tuesday over on Pen and Pixels. So Adventures of Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures will be from 12 to 3 as normal Eastern on Tuesday the 11th. Then at 4 p.m. we will have Pen and Pixels D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, again assuming that Mike Smith is able to do that and has internet installed in his house, which he said he thinks he will, but if not, then we'll just continue with The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, again assuming I have power back too. Friday the 14th is Esper Genesis, sponsored by Alligator Alley Entertainment. And then Saturday the 15th, we have D&D with Infinity and Beyond, Curse of Strahd. Monday the 17th, we've got Sword Coast Legends. And then I skipped over one, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'll come back to the one that I skipped over in just a minute. Tuesday the 18th, we have got Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures again. Then we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine over on GOG with Pen and Pixels. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have The Arvocalis with Paper Mario, The Origami King. So that'll be happening on Tuesday the 18th. Wednesday the 19th is Community D&D again with the amazing Shadow Crew. Friday the 21st, we have Masters of the Dungeon scheduled. And then Saturday the 22nd, yeah, exactly, I was thinking the same thing, Live Swing. Con, we now know what it means. Again, D&D with IMB, Curse of Strahd. Now, on Sunday the 23rd, I am very excited. I've talked about this on Twitter. I've mentioned this before, but I do want everyone to note that at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday the 23rd, we have the premiere of a new campaign on this channel, which is going to be run by Brandon O'Brien, otherwise known as the Rising Tides here on Twitch. And that is going to be his new adventure, their new adventure, Sound Clash. The Clampdown is the name of the campaign for their Sound Clash RPG. I'm very excited about this because Brandon has been working on this for a long time. This is based on the Forged in the Dark system, and the basic pitch is you have a group of punk rockers fighting against oppression in an alternate future with their musical powers, gaining fame, fighting off rival bands, and fighting against oppression. This is an all-person of color cast. We had a great response to Brandon's application. Basically, he sent out an application and said, could you send this out? And that has now been closed. Brandon is going through them, and it's extremely exciting, the sort of response that we've gotten. So that campaign is going to be launched on Sunday the 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm extremely excited about that. I think it's going to be awesome, and so I hope everyone is going to be able to check in on that. Again, that's happening Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on the Arvin Elleron channel. So I'm very excited for that, and that definitely ties into that BLM thing that we were talking about before, the BLM command. Then we go back to Tuesday the 25th. We have the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month. We'll have nominations for that next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Then we've got more of The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine. Then again, Esper and Genesis on Friday the 28th. And then more of this game, Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning on the 29th. Although I might change D&D with viewers, I might change that to the 29th. In fact, that's probably what I'm likely going to end up doing, because I couldn't get it in today for reasons I'll explain in a minute. And then we finish up the month of August with Emberwind, which will happen on Monday the 31st. Yeah, it's really cool. So, like, it's a really neat... Every part of the pitch, I was like, yes, this is great. So I'm excited. I've seen Brandon's work as GM, as he's been doing the Speculate Twitch Blades in the Dark thing, and so I'm excited to have the game designed by Brandon. Speaking of Brandon, you will also see Brandon tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Maybe. I'm going to say what I'd like to have happen, then we'll talk about what will happen. That is Sunday the 9th for the special joint Speculate Twitch stream of Blades in the Dark. Now, normally this gets streamed from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to push that back to Sunday the 16th. The reasons are obvious, which is that I don't know what's going on with my power situation. If power is back by tomorrow, then I would definitely do it. But if not, then I may have to push it back to the 16th because I don't want to have to try to do that from here. This is my wife's office. It's very nice that I'm able to use this and that this isn't like 5 miles away. I'm able to walk to this office, and it's okay, like the internet's functional and everything. But even with the power of ArvBox 2.0, and there is power in ArvBox 2.0, even with that power, this is just not optimal, right? Especially if I'm going to be trying to capture video and audio and all that stuff. It's really not where I'd rather do it. I'd rather be doing it back at my own place. So my guess is that we're probably going to be pushing that to the 16th unless the power comes back. They're telling me right now that the power will be back by 11 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. They told me it was going to be back tonight by 11 p.m. Eastern, and then they changed that, so who the hell knows? I don't know, but that's basically what we've got going on. But you've got either in the 9th or the 16th, you'll have Brandon with the Speculate Twitch event of, again, Blades in the Dark, and then on the either that or, again, the 16th, and then you will have on the 23rd the premiere of Sound Clash with the Clampdown, which is the opening campaign of Sound Clash. So very excited about that. No, I did not see your message about the audio, Coven. What did you say? Is there something wrong with my audio? Is my mic not loud enough or something? The AC is blowing on my mic? Oh. I wish this was AC. It's not. Here's the AC, okay? This is just the regular fan. You ready for AC? Oh, yeah. That's the AC. Whoa. It's not too loud. Well, is this a little bit better now that I dropped the actually, you know, I could maybe place the sound of the game may override it. It might. I mean, like right now, just with the sound of the fan, is that too loud? The sound of the fan? Okay. Because, yeah, there is going to be game volume. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I mean, the thing is, if I turn it off completely, it's probably going to get too hot in here. I mean, I am lucky enough that, again, it's not super hot outside. Because if it was, it would be bad. I could just turn off the lights so it could get even cooler. I'll show you what that looks like. Let me show you what it looks like without the lights on. Yes. Yes, chat. This is a pretty good effect, actually. Well, all I need to do, all I need to do is this, and then I immediately get Blair Witch Project. I'm so scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. All right, whoever finds this, please help me. Do whatever you can. Oh man, I just repeat that and you get instant, like, you know. Just realize I don't want to knock out everything in this room. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, so yes, that's exactly. You felt the atmosphere, and since I got this crazy hair, like off to the sides, the reason, in case anyone's wondering, the reason that I'm doing this is I want to at some point try to do something different with my hair. I have never in my life, in the history of my life, I have never had long hair. Longer hair, even. Like I've had, when I was a kid, I had the basic awful bowl cut thing, which was not so good. But like I've never actually like had longer hair in the back. So literally my hair has not been cut since, for some reason it's like, my hair has not been cut basically since March. So what I don't want is the Christopher Lloyd, like, you know, 65 gigawatts. Like I don't want that, right? But I'm trying to figure out sort of what to do with the hair so it's actually going to look reasonable. And so I'm still in the process of figuring that out. I just want to do something a little bit different because I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to get a better chance to, like, I'll never have a better excuse than to say pandemic. Like, it'll never be better than in the pandemic, like, to try this now. And so, you know, so we'll see what happens. I want to kind of give it a little bit of a shot and play around with it and see what I come up with. So, but I don't mind it. You know, I feel like it's kind of a different sort of look. So we'll see. Yeah, it's unruly. That's the thing I'm a little worried about. And it's a lot easier to shower when my hair is short. Because the problem is my hair tends to, like, poof like this. So I end up looking like Dutch boy painting or something. But, you know, but anyway, I want to give it a shot. So in the meantime, yeah, I don't want Doc Brown. That's the thing. I do not identify. I mean, I like Doc Brown fine, but I don't identify. Okay, what is this? Is this a clip of what I was just doing? This is a pretty good effect, actually. Well, all I need to do, all I need to do is this, and then I immediately get Blair Witch Project. I'm so scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. All right, whoever finds this, please help me. Do whatever you can. That's pretty awesome. Yes. We have a tie. That's I love it. Anyway, so yeah. So the last thing to talk about is D&D with viewers. The reason I'm not doing D&D with viewers tonight, folks, is simply two reasons. Number one, to do D&D with viewers, I would have to haul my books down here, at least Player's Handbook and maybe the DM and maybe the Monster Manual. I mean, like, is that a big deal? No, because it's not like this is miles away. But it's kind of a pain, and the other thing is I just don't have as much real estate. I mean, I have done Dungeons and Dragons stuff many times from the road, especially when I'm doing sort of longer trips, but it's not my favorite thing to deal with because I just don't have a lot of screen real estate. Like I have right now, I'll show you my setup. So I have right now, so I've got, there's Arvbox, there's my laptop, got the microphone there, we got that, there's the mouse, and then there is the brain trust of this. That's my Thunderbolt dock right there that has the GTX 1050 right inside it that makes it possible for me to stream video games. This thing is awesome. And then right there is the monitor that I have, which is basically portable. So I have two monitors, but like that, and that's okay, but it's a far cry from my usual three large monitor setup that I have at home. So that's one of the reasons. And then the second perfectly honest reason is you all know that this year has sucked. I think we all can agree that generally in the world this year has sucked. I am just not up for doing D&D with viewers under the current circumstances because of all this stuff. Like, I'm just not up for it. I've spent the last 4.5 days being angry at Con Ed, being worried about not being able to do the work I wanted to do. Yesterday, when you folks watched some of the mobile streams, was a nice respite because I get to spend time with, any time with Little Arv is good time. But also just, we get to be in a nice van and we hung out and talked to you all. And so that was nice, right? But then I wasn't able to stream last night, wasn't able to, do the work that I wanted to get done today because I didn't have, access to the office until later and blah, 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 blah. It was bad. And so I just am not up for it. I don't want to have to try to DM and put on a happy face and provide a good product when I'm just not feeling it. And I'm, that's basically it. Because I just, it takes energy to DM, and I love it. That's my favorite game, but it's just, it's not a good experience for anybody. So I would rather do some Kingdoms of Amalur tonight and then reschedule the D&D with viewers to the end of the month, probably that Saturday the 31st, whatever that is. And my guess is that when the power is back and all that, will be in a much better position. So that's what I'm looking for. What's up, Stalio? I don't know whether to be happy, or is that good, Coven? I don't know if that's good or if that makes you feel good or bad. I mean, I'm glad if that makes you feel good. Some mage blasting. We need chakram therapy, yes. So, with all of that said, I did manage to install this, and thank God for cloud saves, because this, of course, is a Steam-based game, and if I had GOG Galaxy, it would have saved it that as well. I do think I have GOG Galaxy on my laptop somewhere, but anyway, super, super happy that I have save games, and so it's cool. I'm very excited about that we have save games, and that means that I don't have to worry about trying to get the save games from my currently unable to be accessed computer because I don't have power at home. So those things worked. I even managed to install the widescreen fix. So the widescreen fixer is on and is working, and I managed to capture that. So this seems to be working reasonably well. The other thing is that I have a limited window tonight. I only want to stream until about 11:15 or so, because after that I want to get a little bit of work done and then head back home in the dark, so that I can get a little bit of very late dinner, whatever we actually still have that's left, a little bit of late dinner, and then then head to bed, so that during Sunday I'll probably have to come back to the office so that I can do more work and try to get some of that work caught up. Again, because I don't know when the power is going to be back tomorrow. So that's basically it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So we have a few hours before us, but I figured a few hours was better than nothing. And we're going to be doing Kingdoms of Amalur. Oh, last point about Kingdoms of Amalur. I also made a decision after my last session that I'm going to focus exclusively now on main quests and faction quests. I'm in the middle of a dungeon that I think is a side quest, so I'll finish that. But after this is done, I'm just doing main and faction quests because I realized it's taking too long. I'm enjoying Kingdoms of Amalur a lot, but there's a lot of other games I want to get to, and I don't want to spend the next 40 hours doing a bunch of fetch quests, quite honestly. So those quests, the side quests, the tasks and all that stuff, I'm not not going to worry about that. So I'm going to focus on main quest and faction quest stuff, and hopefully that will move us forward a little bit more, because I want to kind of get on with it and try to get this game done before October, so that I can move on to the other games that are on my plate. I really want to hit Final Fantasy VII Remake by the end of the year. The Never Alone game is just like a one-session thing, so that'll be quick and then be done with, but I want to get to that, and other games down the line. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, and with that said, let's kick it. Let's make it happen. Hey, that first sub of the evening. I love to see it. Thank you, Josiah. Josiah Firesnake. Thank you so much with the sub for the 4 months, the tier 1 sub. Thank you all so much. And also, those of you who support at the tier level, for example, the tier 2 level, will notice that under your flare, you have got, the flare is now, used to be like a little star. If you support at the tier 2 level, you will get a little green ink bottle. And if you support at the tier 3 level, you get a purple ink bottle underneath your feather. So you can actually see that underneath Echo's thing right now, that he has a green bottle right there. So I just wanted to note that, because it's going to be pretty cool. The home scouting went pretty well. What we decided, basically what we did was we were able to rule out those places, because both of those places we decided are just, they're just not, we didn't look at it and go, oh my God, we love this place. And frankly, they're far enough away that, they're far enough away from my work. It was pushing it anyway. Like, I would really have had to, we would have had to love it, and we didn't love it. We liked it. It was okay, but we just weren't into it. So we've crossed those off our list. So we have still a couple of places in Jersey that we liked that are still definite possibilities. We have 2 places, I think, left in Jersey to visit, which we'll probably do on Friday, next Friday. And then we have 1 more place in Connecticut to check out. And then we will make a decision based upon those 2 places in Jersey, maybe a 3rd place, depending on what we find on Friday. 1 possible place in Connecticut and 1 place in New York. And then we'll decide among those what we think of, and then we'll kind of move from there. So, yeah. Oh, the spack and kill, Geester? That, exactly. It definitely was that. Yeah, good to see you, Josiah. Thank you again. I appreciate it, man, so much for the support. Thank you. Oh my goodness, nonstop with the 36 months. Wow, the 3 years. Thank you so much, Nonstop. I appreciate that, dude. Wow. 3 full years. That is something, man. I can't wait until they open that up to affiliates so people can get their 2-year badges at least and, expand them. Because I have I have a badge for 2 years at least. But thank you, Nonstop. I really appreciate that. That sustained support really does make a difference, and I'm really grateful. So thanks. I know you support over on GOG as well, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. 3 years. That is just crazy talk. Okay. Let's get this game fired up and running. Library. Kingdoms. And play. And play. Aw. Very loud, sorry everyone. Might be very loud, apologies. Yeah. I'm sorry, Coven, about, yeah. As we've talked about. Okay. Lovely. Alright. Okay, how we doing on sound, folks? How does this sound? Too loud? Still loud? Okay. Alright. I will fix that. Hang on. I shall fix that. I shall address that post haste. Alright. Give me just 1 second and I will reduce... I'll fix that problem. Okay. I don't think that made any difference at all. Okay. How is that? How's that? Is that better? Still loud? Why is this so loud when I reduce... My volume right now is literally at 1. Actually, you know what I should do? I don't know why I'm doing... This is what I should do. This is what I should have done in the first place. That was dumb. Because, like, literally, then I can't hear it at all. Okay. Let me see. Okay, how's that? Any better? Or does that feel lower? That's true, they still are. Okay, how's that, folks? Better? Okay. How's that? How's that? More? Good, bad, good, bad. You didn't notice it at all? You're kidding me. How's that? Is that good? Is that perfect? Is that good? Yes? Good? Yeah? Okay, so this is solid now. Now you can still hear it because I'm relying on you because this is a setup on the road. So this is loud enough to be heard. Okay. Okay. Lovely. Okay, good. Thank God I had more audio options here. Alright. So, we are in the catacombs. And I do have the widescreen fix on this time. Thankfully. So... Haha! Whoa, God! Whoa, Nelly! Whoa, the FOV! Oh my goodness! Ah! Oh my God! Whoa! What the? Wow! That's woo! I'm not sure about that. Okay, whoa! That's. How is that? Is that okay? Is that nuts? Yeah, that is good news. Is this FOV feels way crazy to me. It's a little strong. Let me start that again. I don't love that. I mean, I appreciate the thoughtfulness in trying to give me, but I mean, good gravy. I'm actually surprised it could go that far. I never thought it was able to... Oh, God damn it. Okay. I never thought that it could go that far. Okay, that's always loud. Nothing I can do about that. Sorry. Okay. So now we're going to see... I don't mind doing a little bit, but that's mega nutso. Okay. Why? That is super far. I guess I just have to hit it once. Actually, wait. Maybe I don't have to do that if I can just exit. Let me exit. Let me exit this way. Oh, man, is it gonna make me... Dude, no. I can't even. Let me see if this changes the FOV or if I have to do this again. Okay, here we go. Alright. Yeah, well, so the thing is, I don't know why it's doing this FOV. That is... Woo! I mean, that is wild. I think that's too far. I'm gonna load it again. That's too far. I'm surprised it's doing that. Yeah, it's not... Well, the thing is... Wait a minute, what? Why I did that. Yeah, it's not in the options, though, Easter. This is a special fix that I had to add to the mix. Okay, give me a second. I'll try, Echo. What? I don't understand why it's that extreme. I don't get it. It's not supposed to be that extreme. Yeah, I mean, on the, you know, on the desktop, no, it's not variable. Why do they have to make the intro video that loud? Good God. It doesn't do that much. I mean, the thing is, it only makes a slight adjustment, which is just enough on my desktop. But on this one, man. See, I'm just gonna keep this like this. This is too close, but I'd rather have that than that wild FOV, you know, thing down there. So. Hey, what's up, Rock God? Yeah, you can't even skip the intro. No, I do not have power. This is... Whoa, hello. I do not have power. This is on the road, in quotes. This is my wife's office, which is not near us, fortunately. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. It is near us, but it's not so near that it's also affected by our power being out. So, yeah. Yeah. Bombastic is true. Well, listen, I mean, you know what it is, though, right, Lies? That, I mean, Lie, that, if you're going to call yourself Big Huge Games... I think you've probably left behind any real sense that you had of of something that was in proportion. You know what I mean? actually doing in here anyway? I am... Is this what I'm doing? Search for Harst. Oh, well, maybe this is a faction quest. The man who tricked Pledge Shield, Fennon into forging the vault key, revealed that he worked for someone else. His employer seems to be someone named Harst. I found my way into the lair beneath the customs house. Now I must find Harst himself. While I follow this trail, Gwyn has been released and assigned to research the strange mages we fought. I will meet her in Rathir when my task is done. Okay, so this is a faction quest, so this is fine. This is what I wanted to do. Yeah. That is definitely the case. Alright, I want to check something quickly, too, and see if I can... I want to see if... See if I can move this around to make chat a little bit larger. Really, really big McHuge large. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is going to make it look weird, but... Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. I like that a little bit better. Now, I just need to make sure that I actually fix the way it looks on screen. Because now I can actually see chat a little bit more without having to be blinded. Big McHuge large. Enormous. Grand. Okay, whoops. No. There we go. Alright, so that way I can... I think that's good, actually. And I can also see the map that I'm looking at. Alright, good. Better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And right. Back we go. Where were we? Okay. This way I can actually look at things. Humongous games. I forgot there was humongous games. I mean, I feel like sometimes they just kind of... They kind of just mailed in some of these names. And names do matter. I mean, they do matter a little bit. Okay. I already did that. Okay. Is that true? I didn't actually... I forgot that that's... Yeah, that's funny. A lot of boxes around here. Oh, hi. Bye. All of a sudden I said, whoa! Have some cheese, rat. Now, for a limited time, the Big McHuge large budget. Like, I think you're trying too hard. I think you're trying too hard. Hey, do I have anyone here who has ever watched my, I know a few of you have watched my Fantasy Fiction Fridays, by the way, which have kind of taken a hiatus because of everything with the pandemic and scheduling and all that stuff as a consequence. Has anyone ever watched that, here? Give me unlimited fries. What's up, Rhiannon? Some of you have. I know that Echo's been there for a couple of those, and... Yes, when I write stuff, correct. Yeah, for the Starbucks, it's from my undisclosed Starbucks. So, the book that I have been writing, the manuscript that I've been working on, is Winnie and Wormwood. Whoa, what? Okay, is Winnie and Wormwood, and which is my middle grade novel, and it is finished. And I sent out my first 7 queries, which I did from here. I was actually able to manage to do it, in here. And so 7 queries have been sent out to various agents. So cross your fingers, folks, I guess is the point, because I'm hoping. I feel I'm very proud of this book. I put a lot of emotion and into it, and it made a big difference to me working on that book, because it really is about my kids. And Little Arv to a greater extent than Mini Arv, although Mini Arv was one of the people that I thought of first when I first started writing it. And, but I'm very excited that it's now off in the world, so spare a couple of thoughts of hopeful thoughts for me, please, because we're going to hopefully get some positive response to that. Again, who knows, it's always a difficult market, but I don't know, I was reading it over, and I've written a number of manuscripts, obviously, written a number of books, and I don't know if I want to say this is my favorite book I've ever written. I don't know that I can say that yet, but it's definitely a book that I feel I put the most of myself into in some context, and leaving aside, obviously, little essays that I would write or things like that, but in terms of actual long-form fiction, this is as much me as I've ever put into something, and I don't know, I was just sort of happy with how it came out, and I'm hoping that it gets recognized as well. So, yeah, you'll have to show up sometime live during my stream, which is usually during the day on Fridays when I do them. But again, I haven't done them as of late because the pandemic and all that meant that my daughter was home from school, and I've got to, I'm taking care of her and all that. So it's been a different kind of environment. Normally I might not
heroic,
even.
My fine little war swan.
Whoa. Someone is here. Normally I would not actually have queried probably until the end of the month, because agents often take August off, and a lot of the publishing industry does. But in this particular case, I decided to, because I'm like, you know what? Like, I talked to some people about it, and they were like, it makes sense to do this now because vacations are all over the place, and the book is ready to be queried. It's ready to be sent out into the world, and so why wait? They will take a look and see it, and none of them specifically said don't query me at this time. So we will see if that's true. How does the game, by the way, look right now? Is this running? Like, does it look like it's running okay for all of you? Like, reasonably smooth, I hope. Whoa. Whoa! Crazy rat. Okay. But yeah, how does it look, folks? And I need you around for the whole fight.
You have tracked and fought your way to my very door, but the vault has been emptied and Lord Beeson has flown to Eamon's Isle.
And he flew so far away. Okay, Eamon's Isle.
You don't even know, do you? Your own history. Well, let it stay buried.
Thank you, Leslie. Where are the artifacts?
Out of your hands, out of mine, and in Beeson's. Fear not. The Farlangi shall bring a beauty terrible and sublime into the world. Now!
Whoa! Oh, okay, smart guy. Whoa, 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 easy there. This guy. I didn't get to kill him with my reckoning thing because it didn't, it was all these like clones and things he was throwing around, so. Yes, we were actually just talking about that, Coven, the other day. You know, I think it's interesting. I worry a little bit about the stream completely. We're almost leveled. About streaming completely without really owning your own stuff. Like, that concerns me a bit. I'm already halfway back up, as it is. Whoops. So, that does worry me a little, but... You know, I mean, having said that, it seems like there may be something different about this service. So, I mean, I'll be curious to see it. I mean, if it makes it possible for people to run stuff on lower hardware, that might be something. I guess I'm a little... It reminds me a little bit, though, of the whole Chromebook scenario where everyone's like, oh, you don't need to have, like, a real hard drive or have real stuff on there because you could just take this stuff instead and just, you know, use it because the internet is ubiquitous. And the problem is the internet is not ubiquitous. Like, there are many places where the internet is not available. I have learned that myself. There is no internet sitting in my house without power. There is no internet sitting on a plane unless you want to pay a ton of extra money for it. You know, so it's not as easy as to say, there's oftentimes not internet in a lot of rural areas. So it's not as easy as just to say, like, oh yeah, definitely, you know, we can just, what's the big deal? We'll just have you use this. That's just not the case. So, you know, that worries me a little bit about that service, but... Right. Chromebooks for school. I mean, yeah, so... Alright, so I got rid of this dude. But the artifacts are not here. They've been given to some other one. Besson or some such? You have a potential cold spike. Interesting. No, no, no. I want to compare a secondary. Secondary. Right now I have the Chaos Stem. 107, 61 fire, 26 freezing over 6 seconds, 5% ice damage, 20 piercing damage. The variety and extravagance of the enchantments link this staff to the most ancient and traditional Fey workshops of the Court of Winter. Problem with this is that I don't use a staff as my primary weapon. The reason I have this on here is because it increases my health and gives me chances to stun, and so this isn't actually as good for what I use staves for. Same thing with that. True. True. Well... Oh, you're talking about... Oh, well, listen. I'm not gonna hack Wi-Fi on a plane, though. Listen, I've done enough of my, you know, DIY, let's try to figure out what we can about getting internet where I can't get any internet, to know what the difficulty curve is on some of that stuff. I mean, truthfully, even if you could hack into the airplane Wi-Fi, that is literally just good for emails. Like at the moment, airplane Wi-Fi sucks. It is so slow. You could not. You have a hard enough time downloading videos to watch, let alone actually upload, streaming. Please, definitely not in any kind of position to do that. Oh, nice. Okay. And here we are. Alright, now what do I need to do? I need to go to meet Gwyn on the Keys. Alright. Oh. Yeah, I wanted to do this too. I wanted to move this over here. There we go. Like that. There we go. See, having the second screen makes a huge difference, and still, it's marginal. Like, even with that, it's marginal in terms of the room that I have. So. Okay. No problem.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings.
No, I not believe it.
All right. See, I'm not.
Please.
Nope. No.
Find Selny.
No.
Tell her we betrayed.
What? Betrayed by whom?
The lower tunnels. Go. Tell Selny. No one else. Betrayed.
What? What happened? What the heck? I don't want to take on any other quest. The dude just like literally was like, you will take a quest. Man. This is another side quest? No, I'm not doing another side quest. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. Not doing a side quest. Sorry, bro. You died for nothing. I'm not doing side quests. Man. Alright. Now, where am I, first of all? Oh, there I am. So I should be able to cut straight across.
Beeson. The Beeson. If it's true he's gone to Eamon's Isle, we must follow immediately.
What the hell is Beeson?
I know a ship's captain here in the city. Hopefully Captain Gomporm isn't already hired. Take this, a token from Delfric himself. We should send word of our discoveries to him immediately.
How's your research going?
I wish my searchers turned up half as much as yours. These mages call themselves Farlongi, but no one has ever heard of them. Half of those I spoke to hadn't heard of the Captain of Riddlehall, and they, if anyone, should have. They're supposed to watch for such things. Beeson has cloaked his actions well.
Thank you, Crit Twitch, for the resub. 11 months. 1 month short of the coveted Silver Quill of the year. Thank you so much, Crit Twitch. I appreciate it. And, you know, Area Bravo is internet is working, and, you know, I'm on a couch. And, I don't have to worry about being too loud and everything. And so, it's not, you know, it's okay. It's definitely not as good as my setup at home. But it has the decided advantage of having power. And that's a good thing. So, thank you, Crit Twitch, though. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Okay, Gwyn's mother.
Anytime she was not on duty, she spent among our histories and our ancient sites. I learned from her what the Warsworn were and the things we lost. But she never found the secret she was looking for.
She still didn't find what I'm looking for. Okay, tell me about the Farlangi.
I have wondered about them since we last spoke. They take the name from the legendary mage Farlong, but I do not know why.
Because Close Short was not very good. We call ourselves the Close Shorties, and you will fear us.
I know only his name as a foe of Aegon, son of Aemon, and I know the histories well.
Okay, what is Aemon's Isle?
It was built in the time of the First Sworn. Known as Skaric artifacts are stored there, but if the accounts are true, much of our early wisdom was kept in the Stronghold's chapel.
I know, right?
The founders of our order long ago. They amassed great knowledge about fighting Niskaru, nearly all lost and forgotten.
And Besson, this guy you kept talking about?
Some say he is a match for Calidus and that he sits on the Orbicant. Either way, he's a mage of considerable power.
That feel when you
If
know
he's
neither
behind all
Calidus
this,
nor the
then I
Orbicant.
fear this is only the beginning.
Alright, we set sail once.
As soon as a ship can be chartered, yes. Search for Captain Gonthorm on the docks. If he has a ship free, I believe he will take us.
Alright.
You, bring word to Ancient Delphric. Now, let's get to the keys.
Okay. So let me save it. And let's level up. Okay. So, detect hidden. We continue to move up. We're only 2 away from getting to this point with lore stones and treasures displayed on the minimap. Maxing out detect hidden. And then I'll have to decide. I might throw another point in dispelling. I just feel like I don't use stealth enough to make a big thing of it. I mean, I might do 1, but like, I don't... It's just not my deal. So, yeah. So I think I might do a point in dispelling. I could also throw some in alchemy. But anyway, I want to max this out first. Okay. And sorcery. Yes. Let's see. Ah, yes, we finally get to upgrade our Sphere of Retribution. Deadly ethereal splinters when enemies draw near. Hell yes. Okay, first of all, are these all maxed out? That's 3 of 3, 3 of 3. I don't need any more of that. 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 6 of 6, 6 of... Well, that I don't need because I don't use scepters. And I don't use staves, so... Healing Surge could be useful. For sure. 6 of 6, 5 of 5. I don't use fire. Tempest is already maximum. And this is for ice, which I don't use. So, really... what we're talking about here is Sphere of Retribution. So, nice. And that's good. So that's going to be very helpful. We got 2 more of those and then healing surges, and then I'll be basically maxed out. I've got 3 points left before I hit 76. And yeah, lockpicking, I don't need it, Rock God. Honestly, I've never needed it. I got like 1 or 2 points that I trained in lockpicking, and that's all I've ever needed. It's not that hard. I have like 40 lockpicks. I've never used the automatic succeed Prismere lockpicks. I just don't need it, to be honest. The thing that I have harder time with is dispelling. And dispelling, I would have put points into, but I've been able to do better on dispelling than in the past. So, you know, I might still put something in there, but yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to need to get eventually is sorcery and then archmage. So sorcery is this 76. When I get to this point, it will be, because right now I am a sage, 40% elemental, 70% mana, so it's going to be 45, 20. 1 mana regen per second, 2 mana regen per second will be a big deal. 15% duration of all duration-based spells. This is 20%. That includes my summons. And Ice Blink. This one is going to be Ice Blink 2, short-range teleport with Ice Effect. So it's going to have more of an effect on that. And then Archmage, 50% elemental, 25% mana reduction, 3 mana regen per second, 25% duration, Ice Blink 3, and Echoes of Fate. Every time you kill something, you spawn a Fate Echo ally per kill, which is pretty sick. So we're getting there. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think you have to have any of these things in particular. Okay. Dauntless Chauces. Is that another? Okay, doesn't matter because I don't use it. I don't use any of these. Okay. Breaking the Siege. The Isle of Aman. The Unquiet Bride. Okay, so we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We are going to be doing the Isle of Aman. We're doing these 5 quests is what we're focusing on. This way.
Don't miss the Seafoam Tavern.
Persuasion, I totally agree. Lockpicking just enough to get me where I need to go. If I needed lockpicking, I would. I just haven't needed it.
My ship is free, and its course is yours to plot, my friends. Were it not Warsworn asking, I wouldn't sail such treacherous northern waters or set foot on an island so long forsaken.
Check out those sideburns.
But for you, I'll go. I'll go.
A mountain. Freaking mutton chops right there. What do you think about the Warsworn?
Some years back, I caught the eye of a pirate lord named Derries. Nearly burned, murdered, and thieved me out of business. I called on the Warsworn, and it took but 3 of them to hunt down Derries, recover my cargo, and save my hide. The Stalwart, she's called. A worthy vessel.
The name like Stalwart.
You'll find no taverns with warm fires or feather beds on that rock. Stones and bones and rot is all.
Okay.
Captain, trader, and a friend of the Warsworn at your service.
When can we sail?
Whenever you wish it, friends. You need but give the word.
Let's go.
Then climb aboard. The seas may be rough, but you and your comrade need not fear. You're in able hands.
Here we go. Amon's Isle. Sam Elliott. Stones and bones and rock. Okay. Isle of Aman. Okay. Let's save it. All right. Let's do this.
Look, that's the fortress over there.
What?
I wonder what will we find.
Camera.
And what Beeson has already found.
Wonderful cinematography here.
So much majesty, though now in ruins.
Big McHuge large chops.
Imagine what it must have been when all of this was glorious and new.
Alright, Besson.
I fear that he's already come and gone, and we still don't know what he wanted here.
Reginald.
We must find our way into the fortress. I'm certain that's where they'll be.
Alright, let's kick it.
So this is it. Eamon's Isle.
This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. I'm going the wrong way.
These were once awesome towers and ramparts. Atop each, a banner snapping in the breeze.
Sure doesn't look like there's blood coming. Hi. Have a seat. Front lock. What kind of a name is Crudock, honestly? Crudock. We're attacked by a whole brass section. Suddenly we're attacked by Hans Zimmer. Boom. Boom. Oh man. This is a charming, lovely isle, by which I mean not at all. be alarming. I see what you did there.
Fair and mighty.
Oh. There we go. I was like, what the heck? Stones and bones and rot. That's true. The Cowl of Execution. Wow. 15. Okay, wait. I don't know that that's better, actually. 6% chance to critical hit. Yeah, it's not as good. It's better armor-wise, but... Sorry. You need to get me some completed sets. I need things that complete sets. I do not need more cool standalone items. Don't need that. I do need that Shrine of Uthar, though. Not sure the percussion section would be happy to hear you say that, though, live. Ooh, what is that? What? What do you mean I have no spare? I want to complete these sets so I can get rid of the rest. Instead, I just keep carrying them around. It's not like I need the money. I've got plenty of this money. So, alright, now what's the deal with this? Take a look at the secondary. 10% chance to critical hit. That's not as good. Rysarf, more comfortable in the lab than on campaign, found the scepter handy for heating alembics, often with dramatic effect. Yeah, that's great. That, however, is not going to do anything for me. Thank you. Section of the map at the bottom. I'll have to take a look at it. It does look... Yeah. Like right around here, right? That does look like an emu. The MEP report that we do, or my comedy podcast with Russ from the Our Vocalists, and our mutual friend Story, has the emu as our sort of unofficial mascot for reasons that are discussed in one of the podcasts. There's a debate reason, basically. That's actually pretty useful because... Ow. There we go. That was a little crazy. Okay. Worked out. Worked out.
Look at it.
Oh, damn it. Goodbye. See, this is what I mean. I have enough lockpicking that this is not... It's just not that difficult. Not that innocent. Ashen staff is killing me. I have no idea why I started singing Hit Me Baby One More Time. Singing this to the tune of Hit Me Baby One More Time. Not sure where that came from. What's up, Okaran? Nope. The power is not back on. Power is not back on, so I am streaming from my wife's office, which is not far from us. So, yeah.
More Farlongi. I think they've seen us.
Yeah, well, I've seen them. They've seen us now.
You're going down.
So much for you, mages. Your little cute floating in the air trick does not do anything when I am zapping you with lightning. So, let's try. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things where, like, our block and the lights on our block and, like, basically in our one area backwards. So, essentially, if you go up a block and a half up to the north or a block and a half down to the south, there's power. If you go to the east, there isn't power, a block or two, and to the west, a block or two. So it just complete luck in terms of where you were and what got taken out or not. And then after that, it's just been, you know, Con-Ed's complete incompetence in getting this stuff back up. Because it should not take this long. At all. Yep. Because this is only really, I don't know, 2 blocks away. Maybe 2.5 blocks away from our house. This place, so...
Why did Beeson come here, I wonder? What was he after?
Let's find out.
You better run.
Hey! Hey! Pretty much. You're the best around. You're always gonna knock the mages down. It's just stupid. Like, these guys are not a threat. Robes of the Storm. Well, damn it. Again, I am running out of inventory. I actually should have asked Rhiannon or Nonstop. I forget who's the one who always tells me this, but whether or not, now that I reached Rathir, is there a place where you can buy a bag in Rathir? Like an expansion to your backpack. Yep. It worked out pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty lucky because I did, as you folks may remember, I did JulyCon from here. I had to do JulyCon from here because I didn't have internet, because it was an internet problem, which is now, then that got restored, so I was able to do the D&D thing from, hello? I was able to do the D&D thing from home. Juggle is a lot of fun. So yeah, exactly. Easter should not have focused that time in Antigraph. Yeah, it is a little weird live for sure. Walking out and just seeing power right nearby you, and frustrating, frankly. As far as how my school's handling the fall semester, some people are going to be in person. Some people, I would say probably 60% of the faculty, that's just a rough estimate, is going to be doing everything remotely. I'm going to be doing everything remotely because I have no interest in, I have no interest in an early death. So I don't want to, get sick myself. I don't want my family to get sick or other students, frankly. I don't want to teach online. I mean, this is not what I signed up for, to be in front of video screens even more. But it's better than the alternative, and so it's the only safe thing. And I'm convinced that by the time we get to... My bet is basically mid-October. I think we'll be back home again, because there's just no way to keep it safe. New York City and New York State have lowered the rates of infection to a degree where they think they can do it. The problem is, especially at a university level, a lot of the students are international. And they come from all over the country, and they come from places like Georgia, Florida, Texas, where the rates are soaring because there are idiot governors there. And so as a consequence, I just don't, I don't think any school is going to be open in the United States for very long, because it's just not, it's senseless. It doesn't make any sense. So I think that that's basically what we're looking at. But, we'll see. Search the fortress. Okay, that is what I'm doing. We'll see what happens. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to be teaching mostly synchronously, so mostly with classes, sort of like what I did at the end of last semester, with recorded. I'll do all of my usual discussions, and then we will record them so that people can access them later on. And, that's the plan. So... Well, I mean, the long-term health, it is the death for me. There we go. It is the death, but that said, it's also the long-term health effects too, sure. And the fact that we don't really know what they are. I mean, that's the biggest problem. We really don't have any idea what the long-term impact of this is going to be. So, and they've discovered, of course, that kids really are getting infected at just the same rate, that they are super spreaders themselves. They tend to have better health outcomes, but, and I'm 47, so I'm not in the absolute danger area, but I'm not 14
she saw many
either.
Ancient places in her time.
It's not safe for anybody. Just bottom line, it's just not. So... face. Fourth grade in Los Angeles, full remote, synchronous and asynchronous. Good, Okiran. I'm glad that I'm glad. And I've thought quite a bit. I mean, I've talked about the fact before that I teach, that I've taught at every level. I, did a lot of my student teaching, which was 6 months long. I did in an inner city high school in Hartford. So, before I settled on college teaching is what I wanted to do. And so I've taught at every level, and I have a lot of thought in my mind. You know how much respect I have for teachers, period. And, I love the fact that we were calling teachers heroes, a couple of months ago, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you're great, now please go back because we need you to babysit for us again. And I understand that for some people, there's no option for them other than to hope they can get things open because, they're essential workers or because, one thing or the other. I get it. But for a lot of people, this is just a matter of, I need to get the kids out of the house. And I'm sorry, risking teachers' lives so you can do that is not appropriate. So no one loves remote teaching that I know. Nobody who started teaching face-to-face is like, ooh, I can't wait to teach on a computer. But that said, it's better than the alternative. Like, we're going to be homeschooling little Arv because we're not going to put her at risk. We're just not going to do that. And it's not because we're, like, super excited that she doesn't go to school. She likes her school. but it's just not safe. So we're going to use this as kind of a gap year. And all of the excuses, all the arguments I've heard about, like, oh, they're going to lose ground, nonsense. They're not going to lose ground if everyone else is in the same boat. And no one is going to look and go, oh, 2020, it seems like your school was a little bit off. Why is that? No one's going to do that, okay? Because we all know what happened in 2020. So this idea somehow that they're going to lose competitive edge is just ridiculous to me. It's not safe, and it won't be safe till we have a vaccine, just period. Amen, nonstop. We do have we're using, we started with Blackboard, and we're using Canvas, Crit Twitch, which is kind of a new thing for me because I don't use LMSs really, so, because I don't like them, so this is all a new thing, and I'm not going to be using it, I'm going to use it a bare minimum, honestly, because most of my education happens in the discussions that we do face-to-face, or in this case, over Zoom, so that's where a lot of the conversation happens. Long and proud history of dumb governors. But there have been some good ones, Rock God. Ann Richards was a really good governor, but you're right, it's, yeah. You're immunocompromised and stuck inside. Yeah, alive. I mean, that's it. Not only are we in danger, but people around us who are immunocompromised are in danger too, you know? Right, Geester, yeah. Exactly, Binkley. Exactly. That's exactly right. They'll be able to catch up over time and you can't recover from death. And it's just nonsense. You know, I don't understand why...
Now here. And what do they hope to find?
Why, in general...
There are no relics here, only lost knowledge.
We live longer than we ever have before overall
Maybe
in society.
knowledge more powerful
and
than
yet
any
we,
relic.
despite the fact that we're living longer and better, again, overall, that's not accounting for disparities in racial treatments and so forth. That's a whole different matter. But in general terms, the human species lives longer. And yet, we rush to get everyone, like, moving. Like, hurry up and grow up even faster. Why? And this is a big part of it. If you're going to tell me that they take a year, even if the year meant that they'd be starting college at 19 instead of 18, there's a very good argument to be made, or that if you're in college already, that you'll graduate at 22 instead of 21. There's a good argument to be made, my dad always said this, that you should take a gap year off between high school and college anyway. Because you should be going in the Peace Corps, or if you're international, you should be doing service of some kind, you know, before going right back into school. I started school when I was like 5 or 6 years old in kindergarten, right? Since that time, I have had, 6 years old, which was 1978. So since 1978, in the last 40, is that right? Yes, 42 years. In the last 42 years of my life, I have had exactly 1 year where I was not in school for something, either learning or teaching. And it was the year between my master's degree and my PhD. I mean, now granted, that's because my profession, you know, is I'm a writer and a teacher. I'm a professor, so that's my profession. But the point is, that's a lot of education in a row. And I have a sabbatical, which is amazing, which is going to be coming in the spring. And that'll be the first time that I have not been in school during a semester since 1995. You know? So, like, there's just this nonsense of everyone has to finish everything at the exact same time so they can start their life and get going at 22 instead of 21 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's zero proof that suggests that's better, and there's a lot of suggestions that it might be worse. So, you know, like we've talked about, people have talked to us about curriculum and what we're going to do, and we're thinking about that for Little Arv and Mini Arv. But a lot of what we want for Little Arv, who just got out of 6th grade and would be doing 7th grade, we'll be teaching her some stuff, but a lot of what we want to teach her this year is social skills and adjusting to her body and adjusting to understanding who she is as a person and learning who she is and studying what she wants to, you know what I mean? Like, we'll do the basics of what we need to do, but that's going to be much more important for her. And then she'll go back again, everything, hope please God, if everything, we have a vaccine and everything is more or less back to normal, as Dr. Fauci says we will be. Then the fall 2021, she goes back to 8th grade and we go on. But this idea that somehow kids have got to get back to school. These people who wanted to spend no money on education, wanted to give no attention to teachers, didn't give a damn about students when they were getting shot, you know, by the thousands in America. It's amazing how all of a sudden the possible loss of a school year is a devastating blow to students. Like hell it is. You want them back in school so you can hurry them up so they can go back into your corporate war machine. BS. There's nowhere that it's written that they have to get into college at 18 and they need to graduate by 21. There's nowhere where that's written at all. It's a joke. It's a joke. So, you know, we're not going to sacrifice our kid on the altar of what the corporations want and what, you know, the corporate masters want. And I don't mean to go all Marxist on you here, but you don't have to be a Marxist to see the obvious. And that is that billionaires want kids going back to school. Regular people, they don't want their kids dead. School will be there when they get back. And if you want to talk about standards, standards are arbitrary. I know that's hard to believe. God did not hand standards down on stone tablets. Standards are arbitrary. They are affected by the teachers, by the superintendents, by experts in education, sometimes by politicians interfering, and to a lesser extent with parental input. And we can remake them if we need to. We're in a once-in-a-century pandemic. This is not normal circumstances. We'll be fine. Yeah, exactly, Binkley. Yeah, exactly. Take a gap year. It's just, yeah. And again, now I do want to say, I am not here putting the same argument for people who they have to go to work or they're not going to be able to pay rent or survive. I think that what we should be doing is we should be paying them to stay home so that we can survive, and I think that will cost us a lot less money in the long run as a society, and the United States has the money to do it. That's what we should do. So, you know, I'm not, that's what we should do. But that said, individual workers obviously don't have control over that. So for those people, I'm not going to yell at them and say, why are you doing X, Y, and Z? They're in an impossible position. But for people who do have the resources or can make it by, or for business owners or politicians, they should be advocating to keep these people home. We're not talking a decade. And as far as the people who say, well, what about the economy is going to be bad until we get the healthcare system under control, until we get healthcare, specifically until this virus is defeated. Until we get a vaccine for it, nothing changes, as I've said many, many times. This is a healthcare economically driven crisis. It's driven by health. It's not driven by some fundamental flaw in banking, as 2008 was. This is driven by health. Fix the virus or nothing gets fixed. It's pretty simple. Amen, I hear that. All right, sleep well, Echo. Okay, back we go. Hello there. Man, the shards that attack the enemies when they get close is pretty badass on this sphere. Pretty badass. Love it. Right, exactly. It's all about the 5G towers. I don't know how I could forget that. That most obvious claim. Yep. And I mean, again, again, this is the thing, too. You don't need to be radical about it to believe this. I am not in favor. I'm not much of a capitalist. Like, I actually think that social democracy is probably the best system. Not wild about communism either, because it's been tried on multiple occasions. So there are issues there. But having said that, having said all of that, I still would argue that what we have now is not sustainable no matter what you are. Whether you're a capitalist, whether you're a communist, whether you're a social democrat, whether you're whatever you are, you're not in a position. I'm not going to go this way because this is not where I'm supposed to head. Because the system we have right now is sustainable. And a lot of people see that, and that's why you can actually see people calling for, even like the Wall Street Journal of all places, calling for universal basic income. They need to do that because when the economy shrinks 30% in a quarter, you know we're in big trouble. So this is what they need to do. Not rocket science. Exactly. Oh, hey. Gauntlets of Fire Hindrance. Yeah, UBI is the only thing that makes sense to me. It's the kind of, as in terms of one major solution to this, because UBI, basically, they've done studies that show that when you use this, it allows people to concentrate. First of all, they don't just stay at home. It's not true that they will never go back to work. People are like, but that's what's going to happen. I'm like, right, but that's not actually what has happened. So let's use the actual analysis of what has occurred in reality and go on that basis. And what we've seen time and time again is that it allows people to focus on what they need to focus on, you know, survival. It allows them to take their minds off of survival and focus on other things, which has huge knock-on benefits for society in general. Yeah, well, you've heard of the Overton window, right? The window, basically, which is this level of debate that moves left or right, right? And for a long time, the Overton window has moved to the right. The last 6 months between the pandemic, Black Lives Matter, between all of those things, and things like UBI, it is very clear to me now that things have moved substantially forward. Substantially forward, where now people are talking about things that they never used to. Yeah. UBI and single payer, right. And healthcare is going to be affected too. That is also going to happen. I mean, there's no question in my mind that that's moving in that direction. And I think one of the reasons that there's so much attempt to cheat on the part of the Republicans right now in the United States is because they see the writing on the wall. This is not moving in their favor. None of this is moving in their favor. And they know it. People, the country, the society, and indeed the world, of course, is moving away from them. And that, you know, these are the death throes of sort of what capitalism always, you know, tried to claim, which is the only thing that matters is profit. And that is beginning to fade. And you will see more examples of that moving forward, and it's long past time. It's not going to be easy, and there will be setbacks and all that, but... Okay, this looks like a boss battle coming up to me.
Look, the chapel of the first sworn. Look out!
Hey. I love it when they do their dramatic, like, I'm gonna show you. Oh. Oh god. Sorry, chat. I gotta focus on this rather intense combat right now.
That mural. I need a closer look. If I'm not mistaken...
Examine the mural in a minute, lady. Right, exactly, Okaran. Oh, it's true, Sundeer. It's the re-reckoning. We've been joking about that on here. So this is an average lock, Rock God. And you see what I mean? Like, that was just about as easy was. Oh, for the love of God. So it's not that hard. Alright, sounds good, Yokiran. I've never heard of Nearpod, actually. That's a new one on me. Yes. Destroy. Yes. Destroy. Yes. Robes of the storm. Destroy. Yes. Destroy. to this house we're born. Yeah. Wait, you saw a new Knights of the Old Republic? Did you really? Now that I have not seen. I don't need that right now. I mean, I don't know that there would be much of a reason for them to have another MMO, because they've already got the MMO, right? Like, what would be the point? Birth of the First Sworn. King Aemon stands before the Arathi Gate while Aegon, his son, kneels. The other First Sworn encircle the scene, Cerwyn holding high her famed spear. Okay. That leads out. I don't want to do that yet. Whoa. That's cool. Okay, let's back up. Screenshot. Yeah, there's no, it definitely has held up, but apparently the remastered one's going to look even better. I'll definitely be interested in checking it out.
This is it. All Beeson's plans, written here in our own recorded history. The mural tells of the mage Farlong, who sought to make himself a king of Niskaru, and how Aegon thwarted him. Beeson thinks he will succeed where Farlong failed. And he just might.
Then why did Beeson come here?
Because he could not learn what he needed to know anywhere else. Everything he needs is written here, down to the last detail.
Alright.
Beeson's minions call themselves Farlongir. As Beeson does now, the mage Farlong gathered cursed artifacts and used them to raise a host of lesser Niskaru. Do you see? Beeson follows Farlong's path at every step.
Man, there is so much pattern following in this game. The Fae that are constantly, like, playing out their own stories and everything. There's a lot of this stuff. That is a mural. It sure is. Alright, we will stop him.
I think we must. Farlong tried to free a Niskaru lord from its mountain prison. With such power behind him, he would have been unstoppable. As Beeson seeks to mimic Farlong, so we must match Aemon and stop him.
Okay. Niskaru Lord?
A chaotic being of immense power. If it were loosed upon the world... But it must not. It mustn't.
Okay. But Farlong failed?
Yes, he did. The mystic hammer, forged by Aemon for the hands of his son Aegon. It alone could halt Farlong's spell and restore the Niskaru lord to his prison.
Right.
I know of it, but not its location. But Delphric may be able to help with that. Return to Shieldring Keep. I will travel to Ironfast Keep in Detir and learn all I can. Meet me there.
Alright.
It seems he was a prince whose father squandered and lost his kingdom. He was raised, hunted, and a beggar. Then he found the Niskaru lord Kamazandu in its mountain prison.
Kamazandu.
It whispered to him, said it could help him win back his birthright. That's how it began.
Alright, what about this chapel?
In truth, it's as much library as chapel. A place of memory. My mother, she described it so vividly.
Exactly. Well, we can't defeat it, so...
We didn't find him here, but we did, I think, find something he doesn't want us to know. Pray Mitharu, we did not learn it too late.
How can I find this hammer?
The mystic hammer is among the few ancient relics named in our records. I am sure. Go to Shieldring Keep, where ancient Delphric can help you find it.
All right.
I will be at Ironfast, learning what I can. When you have the hammer, find me there.
Alright. So, let's take a look. Alright, let's get out of here then. It's a pretty involved faction quest, but this is okay because this is a faction quest, so I'm okay doing this. Main and faction quests I'm going to do. Alright, now, shield ring. What? I mean, I can't fast travel from here. Oh. Because I'm there. Okay. Well. Let me make sure there's nothing up here that I need. What? Huzzah. Now let's take the ship back. Oh, God. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Alright, where was I?
There you are. Is it time to return?
It is indeed. Talk about this ship.
There was no place safe for landing but here, I'm afraid.
Ready to sail.
And that's a certain thing then, is it? I think we'll not see this scrap of shore again once we go.
Yep, I'm out.
Off we go then.
Alright.
You? How in the... Erlich, that turncoat.
I happen to be
I
here
never should
anyway,
have trusted
so
a liar to
it's a
commit
side
murder.
quest, but whatever.
That's what murderers are for. What do you want?
You lied to everyone.
Of course I did. I'm not the Lord of Dolve-Arn. I'm not even from the Tuili coast. But what does it matter? I only did what I had to do. Don't we all?
No.
The Rathir authorities don't have to know. Keep this quiet and let me sail with this galley, and you can have the gold I received for the treasures of Kuln.
What?
I am a man of my word. Most of the time.
Hell no. Enjoy prison.
No, you wretch! You will rue the day you betrayed Crass. Do you hear me? Come back.
Oh. I thought he was going to attack me, so I'm just kind of like, you will rue the day. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then he's just like, no, I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison. All right, I completed that quest even though I didn't intend to. All right, that's fine. Good times. I look like Co-Carnage. Do I? Well, listen. I am not Co-Carnage, but I certainly appreciate the way he streams. And if I got, you know, a fraction of his viewership on a regular basis, that would be cool. But I'm certainly a fan of Co-Carnage. Welcome in, Capafail. I even sound like him? Really? I don't know if I sound that... I mean, I guess a little bit. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. No, I don't. Where is Shield Ring Keep? I don't honestly remember. Do you remember? Wow. All old guys sound the same. Wow. Wow, Sundeer. Wow. Wow, man. That's rough, dude. Old guy. I will have you know, at the age of 47... I am an old... I might be considered old in certain contexts and considered very young in others. I'm still the youngest person in my department, for example. Right. Shouldn't keep. I don't consider myself old. I consider myself heading towards middle age.
Yes?
As soon as I received news of your discoveries, I learned whatever I could of the Alpha Lord, Anru Beeson.
Anru Beeson. What did you learn?
He is indeed a powerful man.
Right, exactly.
A member of the Orbicant. Or he was, until he proposed using Niscaro in the war.
And you know,
He was
perspective
laughed
is a
off
big
the
part of it,
council,
one's perspective
and then
on one's life.
vanished, taking some of Rathir's most powerful mages with him.
Okay. Let's talk about
What
some of
we
this.
are, what we once were, does nothing lie still in this world. We have our honor and our swords. Let us cling to that.
Thank you, Live. Now, this guy that we're talking to, he's like, I feel ancient, like a, so.
Trapped within a mountain? Can we be certain this isn't merely an old legend? But can we afford to take the chance? Sir Beeson somehow learned of this forgotten story and the mural depicting it on Eamon's Isle. Devious. Very devious.
Devious.
Beeson was among the powerful of Rathir before the power of Niscaro.
Oh, the child of one of your
turned
former
his
students.
head.
Wow, okay, Ron.
If anyone can complete Farlong's work, it is Beeson.
I'm trying to think. So I started teaching. I started teaching in college in 2002. Well, that's not true. I was teaching in college before that, but I was teaching because I was only teaching one class because I was doing graduate study. Technically, I started teaching college students for the first time in 1994, the fall of 1994, when I started my master's work. So it is possible that, no, it wouldn't even then, because the students then would be, so if they were 18, I know actually that's not true, that's quite possible. 18 in 1994, if they had a kid 2 years later, let's say, when they were 20, which would be young, but certainly possible, then that would be 1996, and 24 years later, that kid would be, yeah. So it is possible I could have had, but I started as a full-timer. I didn't start as a full-time until 2002. So if they were 18 and they had a kid when they were 20, that would have been 2004. So they would be 16. So within a year or two, I could theoretically have kids that could have been kids of my first students. That's possible. So listen, I already raised a kid to the age of 12 and another one right now that's 4. So I definitely have my own parenting milestones there.
Yes, I see. It should be in Aegon's tomb.
What if they skipped?
Alas, pledged shield, none below
true.
Oathblade are
It's
permitted
true.
inside our sacred places. But this is easily solved. For your valor and honor, in the name of the first sworn, I bestow upon you the rank of Oathblade.
Nice.
Take this as a token of the honor.
I'm an
Now, the
Oathblade.
tomb lies just south of Ulcerund. It opens only with this key. Proceed to Ironfast once you have the hammer. It is a curious fact. For her father, Aegon, Cerwyn built a grave fit for a king, while both she and Aemon, her father's father, vanished into the east and were lost to us.
Okay. What does it mean to be an Oathblade?
Ordinarily, the rank is reserved for proven veterans of the field. There is also usually a ceremony, but that will have to wait, I'm afraid. The accounts say it was crafted for Aegon himself. None other has ever wielded it, and I'm not sure any other can. It may be for nothing, but I suppose it is the only
Right.
hope we have.
There's never any time for a party.
So many mysteries surround the founder of our order. Where he learned the secrets of forging and fighting, how he originally came to the Phalanx, where he went alone in his last days, traveling east beyond Chlorocon's eastern mountains.
East. That's funny, Rock God, yeah.
She died by treachery in Chlorocon long
True.
ago.
Hobbits can always party.
Cursed rings turned her comrades against her.
This guy.
And with her death, it is said, the age of the first sworn came to an end.
I like to speak like this all the time. Even at dinner, I'm like, bring to me the bread. Could you pass the butter?
In a narrow pass just south of Ulcerund, into Tyr, The key I gave you unlocks its doors in many of our other monuments and historical places.
Okay, and she wanted me to meet
Once you
her
have the
at Tyr.
hammer, proceed to meet Gwyn Anway at Ironfast Keep in Menethir.
Superior. Okay.
And by the first sworn, may you know victory.
Victory. Okay. Seeker's Plate. That's awesome. Unfortunately, it is not at all my build, so I'm just going to go sell that. Alright, I have to sell some stuff here and get some stuff repaired. So, let's... I think that's... Is this way that I'm headed? Yes, okay. 11 this. Victory!
Commissary, I've a few supplies of fighters likely to need.
That's good. I have a few supplies I'm likely to sell to you. Sell all junk. Okay. And close. I have almost 500,000 gold. This is absurd. Now, the weapons here are extremely expensive, but there's usually no reason to do that.
What is it this time? I suppose your plate's dented and you want me to mend it.
Got that right. Repair all.
Goodbye now.
Alright, I have some other things to sell.
The things to repair? You'll want Fiona.
Nope, I just want to sell some stuff. I am going to sell... No, I'm going to go back up here. Everything's dramatic about... How could you possibly ever... Okay. I would like to sell... I don't need that, because I already have it. I don't need this. Don't need that. I don't need all these ingredients, probably, but... Alright. Let's see. I don't need this, 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 this. I don't need this, 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 this. Don't need this, 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 this. I don't need this, this. Doesn't seem to be actually adding anything to my inventory limit. So maybe there's no reason to be selling all this stuff. You know what? I'm selling this because these things do nothing anyway. All right.
For that.
Lovely.
War Swan.
There we go. Alright, so now, let's take a look. So, we have the Mystic Hammer, which is, right, down into Tyr, which is down here. I haven't been here yet. Alright. Then we have, go away, side quests. Then we have something borrowed, and that, where is that? Oh, okay, it's in Rathir. So that's back in Rathir. And then I've got this, which is also Rathir. Alright, and then that is down into Tyre, I guess it's called, which I'm going to be going to pretty soon. And this. And that's Rathir. Okay. So, I have two of these quests that I have to do stuff into Tyr. This one and this one. Wait, actually. Yes. Those two. And then I have this main quest. And then after that, everything is heading south. So, let's do it. Let's go here. Let's do that one.
Old Idwald's a scold, but he's true to the cause.
Oops. There we go.
Oathblade?
Oathblade. That is the wrong way. So I'm
You're
now an
Warsworn now.
Oathblade.
That means we look out for you.
Okay. Fast travel is so useful. Really, really helps. Local map. Let me actually go and pick up Brother Teal's books only because I've gotten a bunch of these done already. These books, so I might as well, while I'm here, pick up while I can.
That ship sails tomorrow at dawn. Dawn!
You won't last long. The ships are all moored up until Elund Karth says otherwise.
Okay. Is that on him? Alright, hang on a second. Maybe that I need to pickpocket this.
We aren't visiting Melsen Shear anytime soon, traveler.
Yeah, it does seem like that, doesn't it? It seems like it's right there. I don't... what? Maybe it's like, is it below?
It'll be a miracle if we last the week.
Is it below this area or something?
You look a little nervous.
Really odd.
Oh, but it's good to
This
be
is
back in
Clericon we're
Rothier.
talking about, not your grandman's henhouse. Your comrade dies, the job is yours. Yours!
Looks like it's right on top of him.
The ships are all moored up until Elund Karth says
Alright, well.
otherwise.
I don't know what the deal is with that, but whatever. Upper City.
Greetings,
That
Let's
ship
kick it.
sails tomorrow at dawn. Dawn!
It was here that the second burning, Loskiad, took place. In darkest night, the enemy breached our defenses and stormed these piers with fire and discord. Due to the valiant work of our watch and mages, they were repelled and cast back into the churning waters of the strait. Exciting.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
I'll try not to. Upper City. Here we go to the Upper City. Suicide-proof docks, exactly. Yeah, well, listen. I just wanted some info. Okay.
Such a state.
Again, I am not picking up any other side quests.
Go along,
Main
neophyte.
and faction
Don't
quests,
keep
that's
your
what we've got.
elders waiting.
Let me in. Savant Engir and inform Savant Engir as to what happened in Melaglir. Alright. Let me tell you what happened. It was something.
Greetings.
Yeah. There's just, yeah, exactly, Varaxi. There's too many of them. Like, you can see right now I have 6 tasks, right? And a lot of them are fetch questy too, which I don't love. And 5 side quests. And there's just more constantly, and it's just, I've already played 50 plus hours this game. It's taking too long. I'm enjoying it, but I want to get through it and get to other games. So if I focus on the faction quests and then the main quests, that's it. Not you. You're the one I need to talk to. You're the one that I want?
Yes? So, a necromancer was behind Melaglir's disappearing villagers. Disturbing. My suspicions regarding your potential were well-founded. You are forthwith promoted to the rank of docent.
Nice.
As a docent, your first order of business is to the west, to speak with a man named Anka Edmure.
I'm a docent Oathblade, to be accurate.
He is the most powerful practitioner of magic alive, that we know about, at least. Few members of the Order ever get to meet the Archsage, to tell the truth. He's simply too busy doing whatever it is that Archsages do.
I haven't been able to see the last 2, Rock God, because of being busy. I saw, I was trying to watch some of it, for example, this past Wednesday, but it just kept buffering. I was having to do just cell phone, and I wasn't able to watch enough of it. So at some point, I'm going to try to get back to it. Are you able? Are you able to summarize or whatever? But yeah, I skipped side quest once and woke up in a cold sweat. Nice.
I imagine it rankled Adept Fell to no end that you were responsible for saving her life. That pleases me. I am a savant in our prestigious order. As scholars of the arcane, we are organized into various ranks according to our mastery of magic. Savant is the second highest rank of the order. My responsibilities may be difficult for you to comprehend until you are better versed in exactly what it is we do.
Right, it was the fight. I remember seeing a lot of it was the fight. So was the magic, perceiving magic differently coming from the session before that? Because I didn't get a chance to see that one either.
You are to liaise with a man named Anka Edmure, a rather enthusiastic sagecrafter from the village of Emer to the west. He often sends reports of mystical occurrences that usually turn out to be exaggerated tales of inebriated fever dreams. His latest cry for help, however, may hold some truth. Go to Emer, speak to the man, and find out what he means by Shardfall has come alive.
That's pretty cool on that mod action that it allows you to do that, so that in that context, that's pretty cool. And yes, he did.
You wish to know more about him? I believe he is a sagecrafter of some ability.
Oh, I do some sagecrafting.
His ardor for magic is noble, but I fear he has never demonstrated the breadth of skill necessary to warrant an invitation to our order.
In other words, he's not good enough, is that what you're saying?
Let me know when you have figured out what is happening in Shardfall. In the meantime, I will continue studying the rather phenomenal properties of this sunstone.
Exactly.
Where did I put my quill?
Right. So, Shardfall. Let's take a look where Shardfall is. Where is Shardfall? Can you folks... Does anyone see the yellow circle on the map? I don't see a yellow circle for where Shardfall is. Unless maybe it's out. It might be that it's still inside this local map area. We were all very serious.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Okay. Aha. Okay, lower city. Alright, well, let's go to the lower city. They have fun in places you can't.
Good day.
They party in, like, you know... They party in dragons' dens, you know what I'm saying?
A state.
Feels like this is leading me out of the city, which means that I'm confused as to why
Do not miss Leogriff's many lords.
I can't see it on the main map. But
Sweets.
thank you for the follow, Optimus Mime. That's a good one. Thank you for the follow, Optimus Mime. Welcome to the Argonauts. Hillness with that 38 month. You've got the power. Too soon, Hillness. Alright, too soon. But thanks, boss. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Hillness. Hope you're doing well. I don't have the power yet, but hopefully soon. Where? I'm so confused. Where is this freaking... Alright, sounds good. Good to see you live. Always a pleasure. Yeah, exclamation point. There's lots of quests. Those are exclamation points, but I'm looking for circles. Like, I shall show you. So, for example... See? That yellow circle right there, that's where I have to travel to get that quest done. But the quest I'm trying to check in on is this one. And Shardfall, I don't see... Oh, there it is. There it is, I found it. There it is.
Avoid the gates.
Let's
You're
talk.
with the Scholia Arcana, are you not?
Yes.
I'm so very honored to make your acquaintance.
Same.
I know what I wrote was vague. At first, I didn't know what I was dealing with.
What is with that beard?
It's just... Shardfall. It's changed.
Can I just say, this thing, the sort of, like, the thing that you use to tie together wires is not what you want on the beard. Okay? It's not braiding. It's not, like, it's just... If you do what looks like the equivalent of a wire tie on your beard, you're just not, you know. I pretty much had to throw a bunch of the perishables away already, Hillness. They're going to be getting bills for it. I'll tell you right now.
You're the greatest mages in the land. No one knows more than you do about, well, anything, I suppose.
That's true.
To be honest, I'm surprised anyone answered my request for help. I'm somewhat used to being ignored.
Oh. What do you mean changed? Actually, wait. Yeah, what do you mean changed?
Shardfall is a cave to the west and north. It's a good place to harvest shards, hence the name. The place always has a bit of a chill, but recently the cave became cold, and it howls like it's angry. Many days past, my assistant, Donald Cutty, delved into the cave to collect samples. He never returned.
That's actually super cool, Rock God. That's really cool. Yeah, I'll have to check out and see. I'd be interested to watch that conversation. You said that was from a couple? Did you say that was a couple episodes ago that it happened? Because I'd be interested to check that out. Yeah, I had 12k worth of caviar for my caviar party. Wasn't my fault. Alright, the cave howls?
It's more than just wind. It's like the cave is screaming. I could almost make out the words too, but I couldn't take the cold. I had to flee. I tried to find my assistant, but I failed. The cold of the cave is too great. Not 6 steps in, my boots froze to the very rock. That's why I've been devising a talisman to stay warm.
The work is almost complete, too.
Okay.
I just need one last thing.
I'll have to
If
check
you're
that
willing
out.
to aid me, perhaps we can solve this mystery.
Alright, tell me what you have in mind.
After I failed to make it deeper into Shardfall than just a few steps, I put up a barrier. No need to have some poor fool stumble in there by mistake. The barrier will let you through if you have an amulet that can keep you warm. Like one made from a Barghest's heart. A Paragon Barghest, that'll do just fine. I've heard of one ranging north of Amalur. If you can kill it, fetch me its heart, and I will be able to complete my pendant.
Alright, bring this dude to heart.
Donald Cutty, my assistant.
Donald
He runs
Cutty.
errands for me, cleans my shop, and occasionally harvests gems from Shardfall. He's a bright lad, and has never taken this long to return from the cave.
Okay.
I need the heart of a Paragon Barghest. They can be found west of here. Kill one, harvest its heart, and return it to me.
Son dear.
Then I'll be able to finish my pendant.
Alright. Definitely got some sage
Later,
crafting going
then.
on. Hunt the Paragon Barghest. Alright. Fast travel up there. Oh, darn it. Man. Hi. See ya. Alright, good. Now, if we head straight this way, should get it. Yeah, that's why if you're a big bad, the main thing you have to do is make sure you're ready to, is make sure that you're ready to be protected. To give your speech. Okay, thank you. Oh. Was that the guy? Okay. I was like, okay, I gotta go find him, and it turns out I just killed him. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, hi there. This isn't even my final form. Ooh, actually, I didn't see this. Hold on a second. +1 to sorcery abilities. This docent's ring. Fire, ice, lightning, 15 mana, -7% mana costs. I think it's a little better than this. Yeah. Yeah, it's, this has been fun, for sure. Oh, he survived! He was about to kill this innocent creature. And he survived. I'm glad, actually. I feel a little bit bad when he kills you know? There's no need for that. For some reason he thinks this is an enemy. It's not, he's just a gentle little thing. Okay, return to Amalur.
Yes?
Alright, get him this heart, which I hope is still beating.
Heart of a paragon barghest. Incredibly tough creatures they are.
Yeah, it was tough.
Give me a moment. There, take it. You're better suited to plumbing the depths of Shardfall than I. You can now brave the cold to investigate exactly what's happening.
Alright, anything else?
Years ago, I read a treatise from Savant Hadris Llewellyn that suggested frost magic was particularly potent there, but I never gave it much thought.
Well, I don't use that, so...
All I really know is something dark is happening within. Be cautious.
Alright. Good.
Later then.
Alrighty, so... I get out of here. Let me save it. Let's take a look. Alright, so Shardfall. That's Shardfall, huh? Up to the northwest. Okay. Hello. On we go. I see it. New location discovered, Shardfall. Okay. So, here we are. We have to explore Shardfall. Alright. Which means we go up to the right. And of course, I can never jump up there. I'm going to be coming back there, but I have to cycle all the way around, and then it'll be a nice, easy step from there. Man. This way. Whoa. Hi. I have a feeling frost creatures are not going to do well against my flame stuff. I just have a guess. It's not going to be well suited. Like wolves, they attack before I can get ready, and they don't sit around and posture the way a lot of people here do, where they're like, the time has come, sword out, you know, and then by that time I've already killed them. God damn it. Alright. Oh. Let me equip that. Also, put that away. And also, Let me do a couple of other things. Give me some bleeding resistance, some precision, some steeled curtain, damage boost. I will take decrease lightning damage, increase physical damage, although I don't need that. Let's decrease mage bane, and why don't you increase my mana regen? Okay. Do I have any experience boost? I do not. Okay. Damn it, Reginald. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, there we go. That was my bad. Right. A lot of these traps in here. Right, okay. What if these were placed here, or if this is just a natural feature of the environment? Okay. Add to junk. And add to junk. Okay. There's a lot of traps over there, and I'm not sure why. Find out. That's probably, I assume that's going to be a pretty good pile. Cowl of the Avalanche. Okay, that's not great. A lot of sockets, but... Take it easy, Reginald. Okay. So, Sundeer, do you ever imagine yourself DMing again? Now that you've had that experience, now that you've gotten a taste? A sweet, sweet taste of DMing? Stunlock. The power of Stunlock compels you. Power of Stunlock compels you. Ooh, okay. Let's see if any of that's any good. Chakrams of Bloodthirst. Does not look as good. No, not even close. Sounds better than it is. Lunala's gloves. It's another freaking set. It's another set, and I have 2 pieces of each of these sets. It's great. Shatter Mage with the 11-month resub. Shatter, what is up, my friend? Good to see you, Shatter. Thank you, dude. 1 month from that coveted silver quill. I hope you're hanging in there, dude. I've been watching your stuff on Twitter, and yeah, man. I hope that you get some traction, because obviously this is difficult all the way around, and it's just an obvious thing that you know, support should be there. So I hope you're hanging in there, dude. You're headed to work tomorrow. Wait, what? You are? So that's good, right? Isn't it? Is that good? I think. Shouldn't be. Hey, what's up, Rising Tides? Oh, I wish. It's actually not renewed power. Good to see you, Brandon. But no, it's not renewed power. This is from my wife's office where I did July Con, actually. Con Ed has still not given us... What the... Oh, it's just a bear. Con Ed is still not... They said tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern, but they told me that yesterday, and then they changed it to tomorrow at 11, so I am not sure, unfortunately. So this is from my wife's office, and so I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll be back to normal. In fact, I have to see what the deal is with us tomorrow in terms of whether I may have to push the speculate, you know, our session back to the following Sunday, because doing that from here would be not super easy. So, yeah. Food all destroyed. It is not, you know, behind on work. It's not, yeah. This has kind of sucked. I did not expect, what are we at now? It's 11 o'clock. So it's 9 hours. So we are now at 72, right? No. 96, right? 96 plus 9. So we're at 105 hours without power. Jeez, you forgot to bid for August to get a line regular schedule. Yeah, I'll try to do the best I can, Rising Tides. We'll see. I haven't decided yet completely, but yeah. But that sucks, Shatter. I was just talking up Sound Clash and the Clampdown, Brandon, so how does the pool of players look from this amazing group of players that we got? How do we look? Really? That's it? White Flake? Really? That over there better be worth it. Okay, I appreciate that. Oh man, Shatter. Well, just I did read an article that said that apparently illness in planes is apparently considerably reduced. The spread on planes is reduced to what they worried it would be because of the speed of, like, the amount of filtration that takes place and everything of the air. But still, I know it's not as safe, so just, I guess, be as safe as you can. I know someone who's going into in-person training for teaching in a couple of days, and man, I do not envy them that situation. Yeah, really? Ooh, they actually are willing to sit. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I hadn't even thought about that prospect, that they might actually sing. found our boy. Yep, there they are. That's good. No, I'm at my wife's office, Lego, who is just the office is like 2 blocks from where we live, so I can walk there. So it's okay. I mean, the Wi-Fi is good, and it's you know, it's private, so that's good. But PC, yeah, I'm gonna bring that back. But it's definitely not what I would prefer in terms of comfort level to being at home. So. Still have to explore Shardfall. That's interesting. Okay, that was a mistake. Lego, have you been... Have you not been... I assume you don't follow me on Twitter, Lego, or you would... Or on Discord, or you would know I've been complaining about not having power for the last 5 days. Yeah. No, I wouldn't leave my house for other reasons at the moment, if I could avoid it. Yeah, that's freaking awesome, Rising Tides. That's really cool. I'm super excited for it. We're going to have a good overlay, and then we're going to talk about other stuff with things and business. Rising Tides and I have plans, people, for this campaign. We have got plans. Where the frick? Okay. Whoa. This doesn't look like a boss fight at all. Yeah, actually, you know, I was saying, I got a little bit lucky with that, actually, Lego, because the way that it, you know, if you go up my block about a block and a half, there's power. If you go down my block about a block and a half, there's power. But if you go east or west, like, you know, the streets in parallel, right? If you go in streets this way or that way, no power. So it's like the power outage just went this direction, which is, what are you going to do? Except Con Ed should have done things and they screwed up badly, so. All right, here we go, chat.
I wondered when you would find me. Almost enough to make you believe in fate, isn't it?
The hell are you?
The woman I wore last time we danced wasn't as strong as this one.
The woman I wore?
Perhaps I flatter myself to think I might offer a better challenge now.
What are you doing here?
Sideus, the Crystal Weir. That is what this place was called once. Much more appropriate a name than Shardfall, don't you think? My people have lost their appreciation for language, it seems. So much has changed since I last walked the world. That was long ago, when I learned the only answers worth seeking lie in death, mortal. Death, and death alone.
Here's a positive outlook. There's no need for bloodshed.
Oh, how delightful you are. Such youth, such naivete. I could just devour you. Like I did that poor gem cutter I found in here.
Ooh,
one day,
that's
perhaps
also
I'll
awesome,
do just
dude.
that.
Nice.
For now, though, I must conclude our dialogue. My time is wearing thin, and I tire of your prattle. This body has served its purpose. Let's see if you've learned any new tricks since our last meeting. Don't disappoint me.
Did I disappoint you? I'm curious if I disappointed you. Did I disappoint you? I want to make sure that I didn't. Did I disappoint you, Clown Prince? Good to see you, Burner. How you doing, man? I hope I wasn't disappointing in any way. Grasp of the Dark Imperium. It's a set! Oh my gosh! Finally something is a set of something. Alright, it's not completed, but... Okay, let's see. 10% mana regen per second. So right now I have +2 to sorcery abilities. What if I do this? Plus 25% mana. +2 to sorcery abilities. Okay. Alright. So now we're finally starting to get to the point where we can start putting some of these things away. Okay, I'm equipped there. We're getting there. It's all unmatched, but... Are you not entertained? It's not complete, but it's a set. Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope she liked my new trick. I hope you appreciated what I did. I think I did just examine it. Didn't I examine it? Wait, what? Okay. Report to Ethan Engar. Alright. I will do just that. A second. Anything here? No. I'll make sure I didn't miss any, like... Aha! See, I would have missed it. Whoa, what? What was that? Okay. Yeah, I think I may be just a teensy-weensy bit over-leveled for this area. It's okay. When I saw that they conned yellow, it was a little bit overkill to go into the reckoning, the whole reckoning thing, but... Hey, listen. It's for the fans, right? Gotta give the fans what they want. Like I said, all I need to do is just rope my way up there, and I could have avoided everything else. It's alright. She asked for it. She did. I mean...
If you learn what happened to my assistant, please let me know.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, that's his ring all right. What a shame. He had real talent and a promising future. Here, take these. I made them for Donald. To help him in his pursuits of sage crafting.
Does it complete a set?
But perhaps you can put them to good use.
Gem cutting hand wraps.
Thank you again for bringing me word of what happened to Donald. I hope his soul can find some rest.
Alright. Well, while I'm here...
I'll be here.
Okay. Is that all? Wait. Oh, right. Aethar... I was like, wait, isn't that the guy? And then it's like, no, that's not the guy. It's another AE name. Right back here. Fast travel to right there. Does it come in a set? I want these sets to be finished so that I can actually start, you know, so I can get rid of some stuff. Carrying around all these things, because I don't know which set is going to be the best one, so, like... This is reminding me so much of Star Trek.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Right, I know. But see, I don't want to... I want just one that's pretty good.
It's a nightmare, it is.
Yes, I know. I'm not going to take your side quest no matter how many times you tell me it's a nightmare.
Welcome.
You know what's a nightmare? Dealing with a million quests. That's a nightmare. We're going to talk nightmares. That's where you start.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's just like... Okay.
Ah, so you are the new initiate that has everyone talking. I heard how indispensable you were in stopping that necromancer in Melaglir.
Oh.
I am Eren Methnine. Savant Engar suggested that I congratulate you on what he estimated would be an inevitable victory, and
Somewhat
that I give
Lego
you
for
this.
sure. Somewhat.
Additionally, he requested that you
Although
meet
there's
him
one
atop the mountain of
difference I'll talk about in a
Skycrown
minute.
to the south. I have no idea why, but the note will likely explain further. Good luck!
The one thing that I'll say which is different about that is that the Witcher quests, and that's nothing against this game, the Witcher quests are better. There are some, like, fetch quest type things, but for the most part, the quests are pretty straight ahead. Some quests here there's some good quests in this game too, but a lot of them are fetch quests, like, you know, Gathering Flames, that's a fetch quest. Keeper of the Keys, fetch quest. Status Symbol, MMO fetch quest. You know, Life's Work is kind of a fetch quest. Collect Peasant Clothes, big time fetch quest. You know, there's not nearly as much of that in The Witcher. There's some, but most of their quests are pretty straight ahead. And I didn't do all of them either, but yeah, I liked Witcher 3 a lot. I mean, the DLCs, I talked about this before. The DLCs were amazing. The DLCs were great. Wait just a moment here. Crafted with care, these handwraps were fashioned by the sage crafter Anchor Edmure for his assistant Donal. After Donal was killed by Gwar Gordon, Edmure gave these gloves to another. +1 sagecraft. Nice. And not part of a set. Oh, I just saw that these are Finesse 28. I can get rid of those two. Pendant of Warmth. Oh, yes. Right. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there are. There's some decent side quests. It just feels very MMO-y, so that's basically why. What's up, Norway? Okay, so let's see here. Lightning in a bottle is... that's down there. Okay, send the Sky Crown. It's pretty close. And then the Mystic Hammer. Is down here. We're not anywhere close to that yet. Something borrowed. I think what I still want to finish the Rathir thing, which means I think I have to do the Something Borrowed. I wish it would actually stay collapsed once you collapse them. I think I have to do Lightning in a not Lightning in a Bottle. Something Borrowed. And then Breaking the Siege. Those two, I think, is what we're looking at. So Something Borrowed. Oh, wait a minute. I did that right. So the Wyvern Gift Great House and the Cowl of the Maiden. Alright. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what I would ask Kilness. Gwar feed him to a giant puppet worm.
Greetings.
I mean, you're really close to the end. I don't know that I would delete it and go back, to be honest with you. Whoops. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Yes, I did.
Hello.
If you're that close. Now, the only thing I'll say is that, you know, because I don't know about the DLC situation, but you've absolutely got to play Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine. I played Heart of Stone and won it. I really liked that DLC a lot. I actually liked it better than the main game, as I said. And Blood and Wine I'm enjoying a lot too. So I would definitely recommend that you finish the DLCs, and you obviously do that after you do the main story. So do the main story, then do the DLCs. Oh, there's actually a decent amount even after you meet Ciri, but
Obercott Hall.
It's great though, and yeah, so good.
At your service.
Yeah, I guess you can't do cross. Can you do cross? Whatchamacallit? Cross save or whatever. Probably not, right? Hello, gentlemen. Nothing to see here. I just walk in, crouch, pickpocket the guy, then run out. His guards are like, okay. Like, really? Right, but you need to be leveled high enough, Far Neighbor, or you're gonna have a hard time with the DLCs. That's the only problem. So you don't need to have done the other ones, but I just literally walked in and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Yeah, I know. This big blue bubble actually... Oh, the game levels you to it? Oh, I didn't know it did that. Okay, well then, yeah. Then do the main game on PS4. Lego, and then do the DLCs for... do the main game on PS4, and then do the DLCs on PC. Easy enough. If it levels you anyway. Yeah, the big blue bubble is the actually not at all helping to hide, and I don't understand why it doesn't wake them up or whatever, but it doesn't. Temple of Lyria. Hope you have a quest, and I don't care. Oh. Okay, this is ridiculous. I can't even tell what I'm doing. Let's get rid of this. She will 100% know. Okay, I'm gonna use a little trick.
Yeah? What are you doing here? I don't suppose you're becoming a child of Lyria.
Your mare from Mooncamp?
Lyria, you think you might want to speak a little more quietly? I don't need anyone here getting wise to me. And let me guess, you're a traveler and you've been called to seal the cowl of the maiden. Well, I beat you to it. Cowl's mine.
Wow. You should forgive Irian.
I guess you're right. Irian has a flair for the melodramatic, sure, but I know he's taken my loss hard.
I'm like, you're right.
It seems I can't get away from the travelers. They really are my life. Fine, take the cowl. I'm headed back to Mooncamp. Farewell.
She's like, too late. You're oh. Well, okay. Fine, but that's freaking hilarious. So not the droids you're looking for. Yeah, it literally is. It just, yeah.
Yes, I see you.
Okay. Alright, so now I return to Irian. I also convinced her to return to Irian. Tasks. I don't care if you guys need tasks for me. Okay. Yep. Oh, we got some ocean breeze coming up here. Got some good news for you, bro. Wake up.
You've stolen the items, and my fair maiden's heart back as well. For saving my marriage, take this ring. My vows lie in my heart now.
I hope it's a good ring.
With these, you take another step closer to becoming a master thief. May the Hierophant watch over your every step.
Hey, I do what I can.
That said, there is another job at hand. Would you like to accept it?
Well, let's talk about things. How's your wife doing?
Bless the Hierophant. Bless our guide. I was told to keep faith, and indeed, my wife has returned to me.
I'm glad. And you?
With the light of love ablaze in my heart once more, I can call myself the King of Cups with pride. Hierophant, keep me. The amulet is in Rhythm. The Hierophant seems to hold it in some special significance, but as to why, I do not know.
I probably will play it Lego, but I'm not going to be the one covering it on GOG, and I'm not going to make it a big...
along with a traveler of Moon Camp.
I'm not going to make a big push for it. I have a free copy coming to me, but...
the Hierophant was adamant that
I'll definitely
you
give it
and
a shot
Phasma...
at some point.
But Phasma is no faithful. Why would we support a blasphemer?
Phasma?
He came to our number recently, and his lack of respect is contemptible.
Contemptible.
The Hierophant gave him an opportunity. Hopefully, he learns the error of his ways.
You think so, Norway? The King of Cups, yes. King of Cups, I will always...
Go and pray before the Hierophant. There you will find your next task.
Alright.
Good luck to you.
Take a look at this ring that you just gave me. See if this thing is any good. Arian's wedding band. Why am I... What? Why did you give me his wedding band? Do I get him in trouble now by... Okay. I'm gonna save this just in case. Hey, guess who gave me your wedding band?
Good day to you. What do you need to speak about?
I have a wedding band for you.
I once lived in Rathir's upper city, and then I fell in love with a man that sold songs for a living. Irian. But there was little joy in my father's heart for our feelings, so I left for the travelers, just a wisp of a lass. I've taken orders before, but a commander ought to at least look a soldier in the eye when telling them what to do. But the Hierophant doesn't do that. The orders just come in secret and no one takes responsibility for them. A damn fool idea, if you ask me. They break away from all the rules, the trappings, and be themselves. I remember that was why I first joined.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I have no idea what I'm doing with this ring, or why that matters to me, but... Going rogue. Alright. We pray at the shrine.
You have come. Good. Now that you are ready to continue, I know what must be done. You and Phasma Hume are to steal the Amulet of Rhythm. The unbeliever has been attentive for once. He is eager to prove himself, so he will help you on this mission.
Tell me about the amulet.
The amulet is the object I want you to steal. That is the only information you require.
I need more information than that.
The amulet is the object I want you to steal. That is the only information you require.
Because I still have no power at my house, Mirinda.
Rhythm is a labyrinth of curious make. You will work with another traveler, Phasma Hume, to navigate its depths. Phasma does not take his worship of the Hierophant to heart-shade. He will learn the need for respect during this job.
Okay. And you must be...
So you got all that, right?
Phasma Hume.
The Hierophant is sending us to Rhythm. I always took the Hierophant for a horned beast. Telling thieves what to steal, telling the free to worship. Some leader.
Nope, didn't
Came
check
here
into a
looking to get
hotel.
away
This
from
is my
orders.
wife's office.
But it seems you travellers follow commands like everyone else.
We got hit by a tropical storm, Tropical Storm Isaias, and my power has been out for four and a half days. And Con Edison, which is my energy company, doesn't know what the hell it's doing and got completely thrown off by the storm. And so there are tens of thousands of people who still do not have their power back. Pretty bad. Okay. Let's see. Hold on one second. So yeah, it's kind of sucked. I will be honest, it's been kind of no much fun. Not much fun. All right. Okay. That. This. And 1 second. No. Okay. Lovely. So yeah, so that's why, Miranda. Yeah. Oh, they made over $1 billion in profit last year alone, Norway. And if they took literally just a fraction of that billion, yes, it's expensive to bury wires. Too bad. They should have invested that $1 billion, at least, it wouldn't cost that much, to get stuff back buried below the ground a long time ago. That's what they should be forced to do. Is what they did in Manhattan, which is why Manhattan had 0 outages, while the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island had a ton. So, yeah, I don't play horror games, Miranda. The closest I've ever come to that is I played Parasite Eve once. I played Parasite Eve a long time ago before I was streaming, obviously. I played Resident Evil, same thing. And I played Oxenfree, which is close. That's it. I just don't like horror games. I don't like being scared. Why do you hate the hero?
I left a life of luxury behind to become one of the travelers of legend, like Spinning Tom or even Mare and Irian in the old days.
Exactly,
I left the law and rules and trappings when I joined up, only to be saddled with a new seer. More like a new overseer. Right, here I am, jabbering like a thrice-damned malked worm. Or the Hierophant, take your pick. You go to Rhythm by the main entrance. I'll take another path, and I'll meet you in there.
Alright, let's talk.
The great traveller's name is on the lips of every tavern maid, given enough time. They're the ones with true legacy. Place is ghostly, dankish and strange.
Dankish?
All of Tewilly was scarred by the war. But now, the tower's full of deserters.
Sorry, Miranda. I would never get to it because I'd be too freaked out.
Is fine.
I just don't like scary games.
It seems all the travellers would rather rob a noble woman's rouge than her purse.
That's
but
not
I'm not
bad.
Judging.
I mean, I've
the
lived in
leadership
my
here
house
does
for
lap up
10
the
years
words of
and
the
we've lost
Hierophant now,
power.
like a bunch of mangy curs looking for a morsel.
We've probably lost power maybe 4 or 5 times, but we've only lost power for a long period of time twice. One time we lost it for a little less than a day. One time we lost power for like a few days, and that was after Superstorm Sandy. And then this is probably the longest actually that we've ever lost power, because I think we got power faster after Sandy than we did for this. So, yeah. Lost power twice in 12 years is pretty good, I'd say.
Mare's got the skill of a master thief, anyone can see that. Only she didn't dote on that worm-mouthed Hierophant. Now that she's back with a piss-poor husband, I guess she'll be the same as she ever was. Wretched sod. Even with his lover here, he cares more for dances and plays than thievery. Puts a man off his ale.
Guy's real happy about his job.
Heard about that, did you? It seems that we're starting to be recognized if the Hierophant asked for us to steal it. Ain't ashamed to say I figured our guy to be nothing but a barrel-gated loggerhead. But maybe they'll do right by me this time.
Eternal Darkness. I've actually heard of Darkness. GameCube was a good console. Definitely was a good console. Underrated. Okay. So, go to Rithin. Oh. Well, that's interesting. That's actually pretty close by. Okay. So let me just take a look here. Oh. Let me just travel to it. Alright. And here's Riffin. I'm not 100% sure that I'm into the losing sanity stuff either, in fairness, but... Alright, let's go talk to Plasmer Hume here. Plasmer.
So, you made it. Remember, there's more than just your reputation on the line. I hope you're ready.
What are you doing on that side of the door?
Looks like there's a lever on my side. Looks like it opens something on your side. Good riddance.
What? The hell? What? So I guess I gotta go that way? Is that the idea? Okay. So I gotta keep meeting him as I do this. Okay. So what we'll be doing is we will have we're gonna have Phasma here. We're gonna deal with this, and then after that we're going to be breaking the siege, doing this main quest part, and then we're gonna ascend the Sky Crown, which is to the west of us, and then we have this and this are both in Detir, I guess, and that's to the south. So we're going to be doing this quest that we're in right now. We're going to finish that, and then we're going to do the Breaking the Siege, finish that, and then we'll ascend the Sky Crown, and that will lead us off for that. But that is going to do it for us for tonight, folks, because, as I said, I have some work that I have to get done. And so because I have some work that I have to get done, I need to make sure that I spend some time... I am in New York. I'm in New York City, yeah. Spend some time getting it finished, because it was work that I was supposed to do earlier this week, and I wasn't able to because I've had my power out for forever, so... which kind of sucks. But I'm glad that I was able to hang out, at least with... Hello? I was able to hang out with all of you lovely folks as I went through this. So, and it was short, yes. And I hope you enjoyed it. Good to see you, Marinda, as always. And it's good to see all of you lovely folks. We are going to do a raid today as well. But before we get there, I will say thank you to everyone who's here. And remind you all about what we've got coming up. Now, tomorrow, Sunday, we have got, theoretically... we have Blades in the Dark, the Speculate Twitch joint stream with the Rising Tides and friends. We have got Yoi Gawain Lin, Yori Casano, and we've got Valerie Valdez plus Mike Underwood, my co-host for Speculate. That's supposed to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. But again, I don't know what's going on with that because I still don't have my power back. And I'm going to have to make a decision. Like, getting my power back at like 6 o'clock is not going to make it any easier for me. So we'll have to see how things go. There is... I don't know yet. I have to see how things go, but there's a chance that we'll end up moving that to Sunday. Monday will not be affected because Monday is Emberwind, so regardless of what happens, Monday is still going to be there because Saad is the one who handles productions for that, so that should be okay. And then Tuesday, I really hope I have my power back by Tuesday. Tuesday should be okay for a couple of things. For those of you who missed this announcement, yeah, same, and be safe, Shatter. It's good seeing you, man. I appreciate that, Rising Tides. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, thank you, Okiran. Everyone keep your fingers crossed. So, what was I saying? Yes, so Tuesday, we will have the Adventures of Middle-earth. Again, I introduced Brad Bollier as our new player for that campaign. And so we will definitely be playing that again. We're going to be doing that because we got cut off the last time. So that will be Tuesday from noon to 3 Eastern. Then at 4 p.m., the plan is to play D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, but that's partially dependent on whether our player Mike Smith has internet hooked up in his new house that he just bought. If he does, then we're good to go. If not, then we'll have to push that back a week as well, in which case we'd play The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Then Wednesday night, we have got, I don't think we have anything going on Wednesday. And then Friday, we've got some, I believe, Masters of the Dungeon. I should double check and look at this. Very funny, Josiah. we have got, let me double check. Okay, that's next week. Right, so we would have Esper Genesis on Friday the 14th, and then D&D with I&B Curse of Strahd will be Saturday the 15th. So that's what we've got going on. So again, the biggest one that's up in the air is the Speculate Twitch channel, Speculate Twitch event. That's very much up in the air. And then Emberwind is going to happen definitely because that doesn't have to rely on me. Tuesday looks to be in pretty good shape unless things go horrifically off the rails, but I'm hoping that we'll at least have power back by then. So yeah, that's going to be the deal with that. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Please check the YouTube. Please check with !arvtube. Discord is !arvcord. Twitter is !arvtweets. And you can follow me on the website and get all the information there at arvanelaron.com. On the financial side, !arvshop is my merchandise area where you can get Adventures of Middle-earth stuff, which is going to have to be redone now because we have new sort of drawings and things like that are up. We've got that. We have got, of course, the Curse of Strahd, Infinity and Beyond crew stuff, currently playing Curse of Strahd, available there as well, and we hope to have Esper Genesis stuff up there soon, too, so you can get you some swag for that also. And then, of course, we have got our subscription. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can get inspirations for the players, just like with the Patreon, !Arvtreon for that, by the way. Patreon is really the financial backbone of the channel, currently sitting right there at about $2.23 per month, and so we've got that, a lot of good stuff that you can get for yourself and the channel. And it's the same thing with the sub button, which we currently have about 71 or so subs, so please consider jumping on board. Again, that really does make a difference. Thank you so much for those who've gifted subs and resubbed and all that good stuff. Happy anniversary, Rock God. 13 years. Wow. Very nice, my friend. I am coming up on 17 years. August 16th, so 8 days from now, actually, is going to be my wife's and my 17-year wedding anniversary, which is hard to believe. We've been together, we started dating in 1997, so we have been together for 23 years and married for 17, so that's kind of crazy. But that's 8 days from now. I have a little over a week before we actually hit that milestone. But yeah, happy anniversary, Raka. That's awesome. Yeah, so we've got that going on, and I think the only other thing I need to mention is the publishing stuff. Exclamation point Icarus for Icarus and Jelinek, the graphic novels from Athos Arts. Thank you, Rising Tides. So we've got that. We have got exclamation point library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. Currently a silver seller on drivethrurpg.com, selling very, very well, which I'm very excited about. And that is, again, my D&D 5th edition adventure and source book. Very excited about how well that's doing. Print editions are on the way. Coronavirus screwed that up, like it screwed up everything. But it will be on the way. And exclamation point Greyshade KS for my Greyshade Kickstarter. I will be able to announce in the next few days if that's going to get pushed to February of next year or if it's going to be October of this year. If it gets pushed to February, it's not, I don't like that because I want to get this thing out there. I'm very excited about it, but it's not the worst thing in the world because it'll be during my sabbatical and I'll be able to focus on that and focus on some other little things that are going on obviously in the fall, plus of course pushing Icarus and Jelinek, which I'm very excited about too, so we'll see. And last of all, but certainly not least and extremely importantly, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter. This is the thing we've been talking about quite a bit, enormously important to continually talk about centering black voices and about fighting for justice for them, whether in America or anywhere else. And so we're looking at the resources that allow you to educate yourself, educate others, and also places to donate and to contribute as well. And that card that's linked there is really, really useful and is continually updated also. And I'm going to try to put in some other links too, but I really like that link because it's updated and maintained consistently, and so I always check back on it. But in any case, we're going to continue to talk about it. It's important. And while I'm on the subject of BLM, connected to this in some way as well is this new RPG which is going to be coming up, which is I believe 2 weeks from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, which is the premiere of the Rising Tides in chat Sound Clash RPG, the Clampdown. Very excited. By the way, I will let you know that I have listened to the Clampdown several times now, Rising Tides, in preparation. So anyway, very exciting about a group of punk rockers rising in fame, dealing with rival bands, and fighting fighting oppression with their musical powers. It is an all by POC cast. Very excited for that, and very honored to be hosting it. So that's going to be great, and more details about that to come. But 2 weeks from tomorrow is when we're going to be doing that. So yeah, so you will not want to miss it, and you'll want to keep that information up there as well. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Rising Tides, like the attention that people were talking about and everything, super pumped up to host it. I couldn't be happier. So it's going to be great. That's it. Okay, Ron, Clamped Down by the Clash. That's it. That was the inspiration. So it's so cool. I'm very excited for it. But yes, so that's what's going on with that. And the only other thing I think I need to mention is there was something else I was going to mention, and now I don't remember it. I don't recall. But anyway, yeah, so those things are coming, and you will definitely want to be around for that. But the new thing that's coming up again tomorrow, the newest thing, or the most proximate thing, is the Speculate Twitch of the Blades in the Dark campaign at 7 p.m. if I can do it. If I can't, and if power is still out, then we'll have to push that to next Sunday, in which case what you will see next will be the Emberwind game, which will be on Monday evening, and you'll definitely see that because that doesn't, as I said, rely on me. Yeah, I'm super, oh man, it's going to be great. It's going to be super cool. So I've told you about all the ways to support us, but we also, of course, have a raid coming up, so I hope people will stick around for this. Raids are real simple. If you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Argonauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Argonauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, and then Arvany Roar, ARVANE, lowercase, uppercase R, lowercase OAR, and don't forget Arvany Hype, ARVANE, lowercase, uppercase H, lowercase YPE. When you are brought over magically to the place that we're going to be raiding. And while we're on that subject, let me see who we're going to be raiding here. Let me see. Okay, we've got, go to my channel, please. I don't know what you're showing me here. Okay. We've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Whoa. That's cool. Interesting. What? That's neat. I wonder... I'm just going to click over here quickly. I don't know whether what is being claimed is true or not, but we're going to see. This is a person that is definitely worth... Yeah, this is a person who's going to be definitely worth rating. Cool. All right. Yes, you all have it. It looks good. So that's going to do it for me. I want to thank everyone for being awesome tonight. And again, thank you for bearing with me as I've been without power. This has not been the most fun experience in my life, having to deal with this power being out, and fingers crossed. But I want to thank my wonderful mods, Arudinel, Hillness, Jedi Burner, Rock God, Shatter Mage, and Coven Guy. Best in the business. Thank you all so much. Thank you as well to my subscribers, Arudinel, Hillness, Burner, Rock God, Shatter Mage, Nonstop, Crit Twitch, Far Neighbor, Josiah Firesnake, Marinda, Mrs. Dunsel, and the Rising Tides. Thank you to all of you for subscribing, and thank you as well to those of you who are Patreon supporters, as I know Coven is. Thank you everyone for jumping on board with that. Thank you to my viewers. Thank you to, and be safe, Shatter, when you, be safe. Be safe. Be safe. I was like, safe? Be safe, man. Thank you to another TT viewer. Thank you to Binkley, to Commander Root, to Creative Alibi. Thank you to Dark Sinner. Thank you to Let's Do This streamer. Thank you to Lordfest, to Okiron, Panhandler, PKD Fan, Rhiannon7, Remastino, You Christians, and Uncle Elias, V&K, Virgo Praz, Virexi, and Wenchkin. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. You're all lovely, awesome people. And I will catch you folks on the flip side. Until I see you next time, everyone be good to each other, and I will catch you folks hopefully tomorrow for some Speculate Twitch Blades in the Dark with Rising Tides. But if not, then I'll see you Monday night back on my channel with the power on at that point, but it doesn't matter either way because it's not me, for Emberwind. Otherwise, more Kingdoms of Amalur to come later this month. Much love to everyone, and everyone be good to each other. I'll see you all soon.
Honk.